baby. How was school today?
Mom, these kids at school kept making fun of me and they kept calling my hair nappy. Why, Mom?
Tootie, look, just read this book and it'll tell you everything you need to know.
There's another N-word we throw around in and out of the black community called nappy. We have taken that word like the other N-word, nigger, and made it a word of adornment. I have heard the word nappy my entire life, which was used to insult, degrade, and hurt someone. This word is a derogatory term that was used on our ancestors to insult them.
Available now.
I love myself.
Same tree, different branch.
I hope you love yourself, because love is only love when you love somebody else.
Lafayette, ETM, Hotel, Rennie, Sean. Welcome to Peace. My name is Sean. I'd like to thank everybody for tapping into the Master Warrior Clan YouTube channel. Please like, share, subscribe. Those of you catching the replay, please like, share, subscribe. Those of you who may attend late, hopefully you catch the beginning of this video. It is hunting season. 'Tis the season. Okay? 'Tis the season all this year. The Aboriginal Indigenous anti-science community falls. All right? So we all know why we here. We all know why we here. They didn't effed up the church's money once again. One thing. Let me make this clear. Ben did an excellent job Saturday in the interview that he had with the doctor, the sociology doctor. Had on the panel, strong sister, inspirational like basketball, loves to educate, understands her profession, the limitations of her profession, and she's working to change that dichotomy. Shout out to the sister. If you missed that interview, check that out. It's here on the Master Warrior Clan YouTube channel. Big interview. Another thing. Last night I was on the panel with my boy, Not a Coincidence. I don't go abo hunting. I just go over holler at Not a Coincidence. Not a Coincidence allows some of the foolery on his platform. And he invites it and welcomes it. And that is the only time that I will engage in any of those guys. So apparently there's another platform that's been allowing these guys to have a voice and continue to speak in front of an audience for viewership. Let's call it what it is. And, it's a couple of guys that have made that list that's been on that platform thinking that they somebody that they're not. And I've had conversations or run-ins with them before on Not a Coincidence's channel and ended up seeing through their bullshit. Let's just say that. So what we're going to do today is our aim and focus for today is to deal with some Aboriginal ignorance and teach everyone why outdated sources in science are unreliable. Now, I'm also going to go a little bit further with one of the sources, or maybe two, and touch on history, because that is a different conversation and people need to understand it. Why is history different from science? If you don't understand it, right? That was cold. If you don't understand it, you shouldn't even be talking. Listen. So I'm going to play an exchange to show you how we got here. And then I'm going to address three things. And I want to make sure that I'm clear. So please, I appreciate everybody tapping in, like the show, share the show. Tell a friend, we live. I see the chat is moving a little bit. Peace to Pure, Keenan, Sonny. What up, son? I ain't seen you in a minute. Zane, I see Vasa was in the building, might still be here. Everybody who hadn't said anything in the chat yet, Sutek, what's up? Teddy, what's good, brother? I already said you, Zane. Too Smooth, what's good? What's going on out there in these YouTube streets? Taylor Frankfurt was good. What is going on? So, and everybody else, man, that comes in, peace to you as well. Root words, if you hear. Hopefully, we didn't just block you and kick you off the channel, but we did block you off that other one because you, bro, when a professor with somebody got PhD at the back of their name, you got to hit him out. You had no point of contention, but you was trying to make some contention, and it was purely ignorance. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and we can get it. We can get it going. Hold up. Cancel. Delete. By the way, anything that I talk about today, all the sources are in the description of the video. Please feel free to tap into that information. My screen should be sharing. And dang, I thought I liked the video. Let's go big. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to play this video for everyone to gain understanding first. Right? I may pause it. I may say something. I may do something weird. Just ride with me. We need to get to the bottom of some of this foolery. All right? So everyone knows what platform this is. And everyone knows that they allow the most stupidest people on their platform. If you don't believe me, just look to the right of the chat. There's a familiar name of stupidity. I'm not going to say the name, but there's a dumb person. So let's move on. The name of the show is called Aboriginal Natives Tonight, Mongolian Spots. So this is the topic, ladies and gentlemen. The claim is Mongolian spots. Do they prove African Americans are not Africans? So let's see what this argument is if we get it. All right. Before I run it and run dude off the panel.
All right, A1 is in the building as well. So, man, y'all got the floor, man. Y'all got more people might be dropping by, right?
Of course.
Okay, let's get it in, man. Y'all got the floor.
Let me just say, appreciate you, Sai, for giving us the platform. You know, it's been a long time coming. Shout out to the platform. Shout out to the House of Consciousness. We appreciate y'all having us today. The information that's going to be presented today is not to divide us. It's ultimately to bring us together. And so I just want to lead with that premise. I'm going to let my brothers speak if they would like, and then I'm going to get into a short presentation about Mongolian spots and the prevalence in which, the frequency in which they occur in populations, and how that is a smoking gun in showing that American Negroes, or so-called African Americans, are not connected to the Africans on the continent.
All right, so he lays out his claim. Now, I don't have to show any more of this video. He lays his claim out, and that's what you want to hear him say. You want him to come out and right off the bat and argue or set his premise. His premise is to argue that Mongolian spots are some type of identification marker that proves that so-called African Americans or the American Negro are not connected to Africa. Now, we have to look at his evidence. But there's a problem with his evidence. But let me play the video.
Squalor, I feel you on that. He don't know too much, but So we're gonna play it. We're gonna pause it when we hear something we want to talk about.
That's A1.
If anybody want to come up, y'all can come up too. I'll put the link in the chat. I'm gonna put it again.
That's the Tonsiness one right there.
All right, A1 is in the building as well. So, man, y'all got the floor, man. Y'all got more people might be dropping by, right?
Of course.
Okay, let's get it in, man. Y'all got the floor.
Let me just say, appreciate you, Si, for giving us the platform. You know, it's been a long time coming. Shout out to the platform.
Now, again, those of you who are just now joining us, the brother is about to lay out his premise of why he is on this dude's platform and why he is presenting a short presentation to the audience that is tuned in or tapped into this. Now, this is what you want to hear, is what is his purpose? Why is he presenting it? And then what is his evidence?
Shout out to the House of Consciousness. We appreciate y'all having us today. The information that's going to be presented today is not to divide us, it's ultimately to bring us together. And so I just want to lead with that premise. I'm going to let my brothers speak if they would like, and then I'm going to get into a short presentation about Mongolian spots and the prevalence in which, the frequency in which they occur in populations, and how that is a smoking gun in showing that American Negroes, or so-called African Americans, are not connected to the Africans on the continent.
All right, he said this is a smoking gun, ladies and gentlemen. Smoking gun. Let's see how many. Let's see how many bullets is in that gun.
Y'all got it, brothers. If y'all want to do y'all intro, y'all got it.
I mean, just to come right behind you, brother, we're gonna be showing unadulterated proof about Aboriginal presence here.
What did this fool say? And he looked like my homeboy Ricky. Aboriginal. I can show you a picture of my friend Ricky. He look exactly like Ricky. Ricky is been an 85 African.
And innovations that has went to the world.
Ultimately to bring us together. And so I just want to lead with that premise. I'm gonna let my brothers speak if they would like, and then I'm gonna get into a short presentation about Mongolian spots and the prevalence in which, the frequency in which they occur in populations, and how that is a smoking gun in showing that American Negroes, or so-called African Americans, are not connected to the Africans on the continent. Y'all got it, brothers. If y'all want to do y'all intro, y'all got it.
I mean, just to come right behind you, brother, we're gonna be showing unadulterated proof about Aboriginal presence.
I don't know what he just said, bro. That's why I rewinded back. Unadulterated. The nerve of this nigga. The nerve of this nigga. Hold up, yo. Hold up. What in the world did he just say, yo? What are we talking about right here? What did he just say? Ah, man.
You gonna get this work. You gonna get this work, nigga. I killed you. Hold up. You gonna get this work.
Ultimately to bring us together. And so I just want to lead with that premise. I'm gonna let my brothers speak if they would like, and then I'm gonna get into a short presentation about Mongolian spots and the prevalence in which, the frequency in which they occur in populations, and how that is a smoking gun in showing that American Negroes, or so-called African Americans, are not connected to the Africans on the continent. Y'all got it, brothers. If y'all want to do y'all intro, y'all got it.
I mean, just to come right behind you, brother, we're gonna be showing unadulterated proof about Aboriginal presence here. Science that's get overlooked, interventions and innovations that has went to the world. So we're gonna talk about some of the first civilizations, some of the first cities, some of the oldest civilizations, some of the greatest structures, some of the greatest science, all produced by Aboriginal peoples here in America. So that's pretty much it. Shout out to everybody. Peace and blessings.
All right. Peace to the Aboriginals, North, South, Central, and the conjoined islands. Peace to gods, peace to goddesses. Y'all already know what this is. Your brother Hanu Kiel. And we're gonna be kind of touching in on some forbidden history to kind of like pinpoint.
Anytime they use the word forbidden, it's a problem. Forbidden. I don't know how not a coincidence made it this far in the video, but I'm already like, this is some bullshit.
Like, as far as a lot of the history that been hidden, because understand a lot of this information that we are able to come across has actually been hidden. You have to dig for it. And also remember Reconstruction and a lot of the different history according to how the Europeans rewritten the history. We're gonna be going over. Peace to everybody, man. Peace to Sinetta. And like Ab TV said, this is not a division, but for the last, I don't know how long it been, everything been Africa, Africa, Africa. And from the information we're going to present and provide, we're going to show you that America is the grandmother and the original land. So peace.
All right, gang. I see my brother Truth in the building. Truth, you want to give an intro real quick?
Yeah, peace to everybody, man. Salute to you, Sai, for allowing a platform of
Peace,
different,
brother.
you allow a platform of different schools of thoughts to
All right, so let me say something real quick about this guy. This is the most disingenuous lying cocksucker I know. And I don't know him. But he's the most disingenuous lying person that I've ever been on a panel with. Intentionally disingenuous. Okay? The guy that's talking now, the so-called truth searcher, he's a con artist. A very bad one at that.
information. So I think that, your flowers and your credit need to be given for that. So salute to you in the House of Conscience. I'm here to back up and support my brothers, and also in the background for any information dealing with DNA to help support all the premises that my brother is coming with today.
DNA, huh?
All right. So before I pass y'all the mic and let y'all go in, I know y'all showing sources, right?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what do you think about when the Hebrew Israelites, are y'all Israelites as well, or just the Indians, the Aboriginals?
Let me tell you first. From my
because we hear the Hebrews say that y'all are a part of the 12 tribe chart. So let's talk about that as well.
Okay, so from my perspective, right, that is a religion or ideology that's being practiced, equivalent to Islam.
All right. Last question, and then I'm gonna let y'all brothers go into y'all teaching. I know for the most part y'all don't follow DNA or believe or trust in DNA, but my DNA shows that I got 4.9% indigenous American. But it also got at the top, sub-Saharan African 74.0%. So it's showing that I got more African gene in me or blood in me than the Native American. And I would say that probably that will come from my father's side, the 4.9%. So what do you say to that? Being that y'all don't follow the DNA, it shows me my first cousin. It puts my first cousin up there. It also shows me my father, who is Dominican. And so now it's telling me indigenous American. So being that y'all don't follow DNA, how you determine who you are? How do you find out who you are?
So you asked two questions. So
yes, go ahead.
I'm gonna try to address.
And I'm gonna let y'all go in on y'all teaching after that.
Okay, so based off the chart that you're showing me right now, right, which is from Ancestry, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
So this is what happens when you take an ancestry test. And this is the miscommunication that's taking place, where you guys think that we just saying we totally don't mess with DNA and it's totally just something that can't be utilized. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Nah, they don't mess with DNA at all. At all. I don't know what they talking about, trying to act like they mess with it sometimes. Like, that's what it is. You can't pick and choose anyway. How you picking and choose something? How you picking and choosing? Peace, Skittles. How you picking and choosing? It don't work like that.
I'm saying that the information that is being presented to you, a lot of y'all is going to say, but from my experience, when people learn something new, the first thing they do is they do a Wikipedia search. First thing they do a Wikipedia search, and then they go into depth and they find peer review articles and things of that nature to debunk or support the information that is present in Wikipedia. And so that's what I would like for you guys to do, right? I'm gonna lay down the groundwork through Wikipedia, the history and all of that shit that they say, and then I will pull up the actual peer review articles to support what this says. But for those who don't know about it, we want to give you the opportunity to learn it and understand it at its most infant state, okay? So, Mongolian spot, also known as slate gray nevis or congenital dermal melanocytis, is a benign flat congenital birthmark with wavy borders and an irregular shape. In 1883, it was described by a man.
By the way, congenital is congenital. Okay, so we know they have a problem pronunciating words, and that's cool. Congenital. I mess up words all the time. Congenital, though. Terminal. All right, so he goes to Wiki to give us an introduction. He's saying right now, 1883, yeah. Now, remember, in his premise, he says that this is going to prove that we, the Negro American, quote unquote, African American, has no connection to Africa because of Mongolian spots.
And it was described and named after Mongolians by Erwin Baus, a German anthropologist based in Japan, who erroneously believed it to be the most prevalent.
He paused it. He came live. Oh, he finna continue.
They can be blue, gray, blue, black, or deep brown. Okay. So this is a genetic condition that is observed at birth. Okay. This is not a DNA test where you need Rick Kittles to come and give you results. You don't need Spencer Wells to come and give you results. You don't need Garfield or Ngozi to interpret this for you, right? This is something that has been observed not only by scientists, but can be observed by the common man and be understood by the common man. This is why this is a smoking gun, okay? Now, they say the cause of this is, it says Mongolian spot is a congenital development condition that is one existing from birth, exclusively involving the skin. The blue color is caused by melanocytes, melanin-containing cells that are usually located in the surface of the skin, but are in the deeper regions in the location of the spot, usually as multiple spots or one large patch. It covers one or more of the lumbosacral area, or the lower back, the buttocks, sides, and shoulders. It results from the entrapment of melanocytes in the lower half to 2/3 of the dermis during the migration from the neural crest to the epidermis during the embryonic development.
So he said a lot, but so he's telling you basically people who with melanin can get this as this melanin is traveling and it's taking its place in the body, right? So it has nothing to do with a specific ethnic group or anybody. It's people with melanin that have this condition, right? So let's see what else he says.
Okay. Male and female infants are equally predisposed to slate-gray nevus, okay? People who are not aware of the background of slate-gray nevus may mistake them for bruises. And
Yo, Ab, it ain't about being on Sinetta. Y'all hate Sinetta. Now y'all setting him as the authority on making it. Make that make sense. That don't make no sense, bro. Y'all talk bad about him all the time. Now y'all was on there.
And we got many cases where our people have took their children to the daycare, and then they try to put them people on them because they had these spots on their backs, okay? So we're gonna get into it. Let me come down a little bit because I wanna come down to the prevalence in which it occurs in populations. This is just giving us a base history of it. And if anybody wanna go through this and go through the basic history, we'll get into that more depth when we get into the peer review articles. But we wanna get into the prevalence of it, right? So why is this important? Why are these spots that occur at birth?
I mean, really, once he got to certain populations of Africa, he should have just stopped. Because he's trying to act like Africans don't get it. Africans do get it. Nigerians get it. If anybody who did a DNA test, that's an African American, they're going to see you have Nigerian ancestry. What about the other possible places it could be that's not tested? Well, not tested, but it's not actually documented, right? So absent of evidence is not the absence of evidence.
Earth and have been observed in different populations. Why is this important at all, right? Well, let's read the prevalence and see if we can deduce, okay? So it says infants may be born with one or more slate-gray nevuses ranging from small areas on the buttocks to larger areas on the back. The birthmark is prevalent among East, South, Southeast, North, and Central Asian peoples. Now let's just stop right there, okay? Stop right there for a second. Right now, they're identifying groups of people who have this specific condition, okay? I don't want y'all to lose, lose focus when it starts to name all of these different peoples and you start to picture these people in your minds, and then it gets convoluted sometimes, right? We just want to highlight that this occurs in East, South, Southeast, North, and Central Asian people, okay? It goes on to say, this occurs in indigenous Oceanians, okay? Chiefly Micronesians and Polynesians. So it's identifying several indigenous populations, okay, that have this condition at birth, okay? It says certain populations in Africa. Now that is very keen, okay? Because it's identifying that it's found prevalently in populations in America, in Asia, in Asiatic populations, but it's only saying it's found in certain populations in Africa. We'll get into that in the future.
YK, what's good, bro?
Hey, what's good, bro? I got a lot going on in my background, so I'm just going like the kids are running around, but yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah. You did a good video earlier on it, man. I seen earlier.
Yeah, I got.
They do be saying that. Like, I don't know why.
I don't think I caught that part of the debate.
Tuesday, probably start on Wednesday. I want to see where they went and was looking for these Mongolian spots in some group and they didn't have them. That's what I want to see, because I'm saying that there's
talking about Mongolian spots. We're talking about birthmarks, because I seen people in the chat talking about birthmarks, and then I seen people saying Mongolian spot.
Right,
but we're not doing a test. It's not a test. You said a test. Doing a test.
Hold on. So when you do take a test and it comes back Nigerian, it's gonna come back as the whole Nigeria first, and then as they get more genetic data from these other people, to pinpoint exactly what group in Nigeria you come from. But I want to touch on the other thing you said. So you said if 75% of them have it, how come we have it more? So what you're describing is what would be called a genetic bottleneck. When people who actually made it over here had it, and they was more likely to have it than not have it. So if 9/10 of the people or 8/10 of the people who came over here had it, the majority of the people in America are gonna have it. That's somewhat of a genetic bottleneck.
That don't make sense, bro. How you gonna have a genetic bottleneck from? So if the people from Nigeria,
let me give you a quick example. Let me give you a quick example, bro.
First, higher frequency first, bro. You can't have it at 70%, and then when you genetic bottleneck somewhere, you would now have it at almost 100%.
Let me give you an example. So say you got these Nigerians over there. Some of them have blue eyes, right? Say only 30% have blue eyes, right? So say there's 10 million people, 30%. What's that? 3 million people. Say we have the slave trade, and out of the slave trade, 90% of the people with the blue eyes was brought to America. So you would see Black Americans with more blue eyes than you would see with not. That don't mean it's not from the Nigerian population.
Is that your explanation? So they took all the niggas with the Mongolian spots and didn't leave any there?
No, they did. No, they didn't. It's not that they left them there, bro. It happens less in that population.
Real quick, so I think I come and mess up the show. Yeah, I come mess up the show.
I ain't running, I'm not trying to run, bro. I just asked for your evidence.
And my evidence specific condition. Understand? So if also have the same condition, then it makes sense because they come from that originating population, right? Well, what I'm saying is the so-called origin populations that you're saying are from African Americans, from Nigeria to the Mende to all these other people, they do not have the genetic condition at the prevalence of African Americans. You can't get around that.
So show the documentation of these people looking for groups in West Africa.
All right.
Mongolian spots, and they didn't have them.
All right, and then what? After I show that, then what? What we gonna do then?
You would be right about this conversation, brother.
All right, cool.
What we gonna do then?
Cool. Then I get back on Tuesday. Probably start on Wednesday, showing exactly who the populations were that they examined, the actual amount of people that they examined, and all of that shit. So y'all can shut the fuck up, talking crazy. That cool?
Yeah, I want to see it. That's it. I want to see people that they was looking to have it that didn't have it.
But before we get to this part, right, up until this point, right, is the methodology that I'm following valid?
No.
All right. Yeah,
because you just did exactly what you accused not a coincidence of. You only talked about 2 people that was in Nigeria that they examined.
That was were the articles. Those were the peer-reviewed studies that were available.
No, it's not peer-reviewed, bro.
So
that's not peer-reviewed, bro.
It's not peer-reviewed?
No, it's not peer-reviewed, bro. Show us. Show us the
I
peer-reviewed
did.
article.
I showed it on Sinetta. I showed the actual sciences.
We on this channel.
I showed everything.
You got it? You got it? You can show us. We believe you.
I don't know who the fuck you is, but I don't know who told you was the boss.
We just asked you for the evidence.
You don't run a goddamn thing. The evidence is on Sinetta, nigga.
I'm not trying to run, bro. I just asked for your evidence.
And my evidence was presented on Sinetta, and he redoing the evidence now, motherfucker. So y'all sit up here and talk. Y'all listen, bro. Y'all go, okay, well, why the fuck you come on here talking shit then, nigga? Shut the fuck up.
I want to see your evidence, my nigga.
You know, who the fuck are you to tell me where who are you? Who are you, bro? Who the fuck are you? Are you a scientist? Are you a biologist? Are you anybody?
Hold on.
Nah, that's okay.
You don't do this on your channel, bro.
Talk that shit while you say right now, because y'all know when I get back on my shit, I'm gonna air you niggas the fuck out. So how y'all feeling right now, nigga? When I get back on my channel, watch what you say. I promise you. Watch what y'all niggas say about me. Because whatever you say, I promise you, I'm gonna air you niggas the fuck out. I promise you. So keep talking that crazy.
I can't wait, bro. I can't wait. I need to be aired out. I need to be aired out.
You're not even relevant, nigga. In a random voice popping on you. I don't even know who the fuck you is.
You're
fuck out of here.
You're right. You don't do this on your channel.
No evidence. Hold on. Where is y'all evidence? Where is y'all? Has anybody on this panel created their own alternative hypothesis to what was presented yet? Hey, shut the fuck up.
Hold on.
The fuck out of here.
Yo, Ab. What? See, look.
See, he runs.
That's the corny shit right
now. All I did was ask him to present his evidence. He got offended. That's all I did. He said he already did it. He did it on Sonnet. I said, fuck that channel. We over here on Not a Coincidence channel. Go ahead, present your evidence. I even piped him up. Pause. I even said, yo, you can do it, bro. We believe you. You got the evidence. Go ahead and show us. What's on the screen right here is a study that he used to present his argument for these birthmarks that they're calling Mongolian spots that show up in melanated people. Now, the problem with this source, and I'm gonna put the source on the screen because I got it. I got it. The problem with this source is that the study is from 1907. So the question that I asked on the panel last night to everybody that was tapped in was this. I asked, how can you determine the biological makeup of a person without any genetic evidence in 1907? The genome wasn't even mapped yet. We don't know nothing about DNA like that. And we dang sure ain't even testing for it at that point. So how could someone determine or conclude that the Negro in America, quote unquote, African American, is not linked or related to or descend from Africa, which is the dude's claim? So this study that you're looking at is supposed to support his argument. Now, without boring y'all to death about looking at the article, because I don't want to bore y'all to death with the article. I want to do this. I want to give you something from Southern New Hampshire University. How old should or can a source be for research? I want to just sprinkle a little sauce in the game. How old your research sources can be using the publication date or date of creation as the defining criteria is either stated in your assignment rubric or depends on your field of study or academic discipline. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, scholars of all walks of life, if it's a requirement for your assignment, look for words like sources must be published in the last 10 years or words that affect the specify the publication date or range required. If the currency of sources is not a requirement of your assignment, think about the course involved and what an appropriate age might be. Can someone tell me in the age of genetic evidence, which can help answer the whole question regarding birthmarks, why would I use a study that doesn't have a complete understanding of the biological makeup of a human being in identifying if they are African, African American, or otherwise, without even touching the source? I'm having questions before I read the source. Now, how fast changing is the field of study? He never proposed this. He never thought about this question. So I'm presenting to all of y'all. Listen, sources for history paper might, by their very nature, be older if they are diaries, personal letters, or documents created long ago and used as primary sources. Sources used for research in the sciences, healthcare, nursing, engineering, business and finance, and education, and other social science fields require more cutting-edge research, as these fields change quickly. With the acquisition of new knowledge and the need to share it rapidly with practitioners in those fields. So again, with history, when you got primary sources, they can go back to 1907. If this was talking about history, 1907 would be substantiated evidence for history. But for the sciences, science requires more research, cutting edge. And the field changed quickly, rapidly. You heard the words, quickly, rapidly, constant change. 1907 is an outdated source. Oh, I'm just getting started, not a coincidence. You miss a little, you miss some, but I'm just getting started, brother. I've been playing a video, so we off of that. Now, a good rule of thumb is to use sources published within the last 10 years for research in arts, humanities, literature, and history. For fast-paced fields, sources published in the last 2 or 3 years. Now, had the study that the Geechee guy was trying to use was from 2 or 3 years ago, no one would argue against his source. If there's no more recent data available, right, regarding the study that he presented, if it was 2020, no one would argue it. We would read the study, understand the study, and see what the conclusions were, then look for the supportive evidence for the study. But this was 1907. What in the blue moon is he talking about? All right, so just a little bit more for y'all. Use the library's multi-search. When you're having problems looking for information and you want to substantiate something regarding science, you need to look for date ranges within the last 3 years. We were in a pandemic, so you could go all the way back to 2019. You can go from 2019 up into 2023. Just look at the pandemic. Look at how fast information was updating per each study that we talked about during the entire pandemic. And as the body of knowledge about COVID and the reactions to COVID and how it treats the body, attacks the body, attacks the body and the recovery times and all of that. Look at how much information we know today versus 2019. The shit was moving at the end of 2019 going into 2020. So to add to that, ladies and gentlemen, you would go a little step further, right? You need to start checking domain names. When you start seeing sites like www.slangandwood.uk, STU or something weird. Some of these weird websites, you need to check the domain name. It's not gonna work. Also, you want to take a closer look at the source. Most of them are not reading the sources. We've seen this today again when YK the Truth puts a video up. This fool said that's my site. He said thanks for the plug. Slangandwood.org, .edu. Pause. Search for additional information to back up what you found. This boy that went over there on Sonetta used Wiki and then brings up one study. Then he doesn't have supportive evidence. 4, use certain sources only to jumpstart additional research. So it's okay to start at Wiki. Don't use no damn Chat GPT. That shit ain't gonna get you nowhere but to a dead end. Excuse me for cussing. I apologize. I'm trying to be a little bit more educational in my approach. Now that we got that clear, right? Let's go over here and let's really define what he is arguing here. We heard his premise. We ain't even got to review the study, y'all. I'm finna just go ahead and nip it in the bud. Dermal melanocytosis is the name of a kind of birthmark that is flat, blue, or blue-gray that appear at birth or in the first few weeks of life. If you are a parent in the chat, I've seen it on my kids when they came up out of their mama, all three of them. When they came up out of their mama, on their back, right above their butt, was them spots. But they went away. And in other areas, they had their little birthmarks. But them little spots right above that, I don't know why they had them, but they came out with the blue spots. Now, dermal melanocytosis is common among people of Asian, Native American, Hispanic, East Indian, and African descent. Remember, his claim was that these Mongolian spots, and you see it up here, they also was formerly called Mongolian blue spots. He said it. He said that this article was going to show that the Negro American, or quote unquote African American, has no link to Africa. Yet, they say this is common in people in Asia, Native American, Hispanic, East Indian, and of African descent. The color of the birthmark is from a collection of melanocytes in the deeper layer of the skin. Melanocytes are cells that make the color, the pigment or color in the skin. Okay? There should be a big, not a coincidence, said this earlier in the show. He said, man, basically what they're saying is people with melanin are more susceptible to having Mongolian blue spots. But that brother didn't pick up on that from what he read. So let me double down, right? Let me double down on who is at risk. Who is at risk? Blue-gray spots are seen in approximately 90. Let me highlight it. 90. Let me see if I can zoom all the way in. Boom. Blue-gray spots are seen in approximately 90% of African Americans. 80% Native Americans, 70% Hispanics, 5 to 10% in whites. So it's not even worth me going to go read the study, because the study is not going to what? Support his argument. And even if he had an argument, there's no source that he could back up with that source, because the source he showed us was from 1907 in the field that is rapidly changing. So again, Mongolian spots shows up in people with melanin. So why would he use this, right? Why would he use this? To claim that it would prove that The Negro American, quote unquote, African American has no link to Africa. So right here it says real quick, from Africa we have no very definite reports. So I'm sure this is what he's using. Adachi refers to Pruner Bay, Schwittenfurt, and von Helmholtz, who noted in newly born African children. Look what he found out. Who noted in newly born African children grayish or slate-colored spots in various regions of the body. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is your Mongolian spot in African children. Now let's read it further. Although no statements are made as to definite localities, there seems little doubt after my observations that what they saw was our pigment spots. RM speaks of their occurrences among the Nigrotis of the Philippine Islands, the Riedel among the Papuans, and Chimin reports an observation of Madagascar. This is everyone with melanin. Bell speaks of the occurrence among mulattoes of Brazil. Lehman Nish examined critically half a dozen Negro half-breeds of Argentina between 6 months and 2.5 years old. He found a sacral spot as large as a hand, violet gray or slated color. What are we talking about? Look what he says. During the last few months, I have carefully examined 40 colored children under 1 year of age with reference to the occurrence of distributions of these pigment areas. The American Negro, of whom one can say with assurance that he has no white blood, is rare. One must think of practically all the babies then as of mixed white and black blood. In no case, however, of this generation, but always going back to at least 2 or 3 generations, the color varied from that of the white baby to that of the adult Negro, from white through light brown to black. In only 2 cases was there any other known admix in these, and there was some Indian blood. About 1/2 of these cases were less than 1 week old. There seems still much uncertainty as to the degree of color in the newly born Negro child. Adichie, for example, says, one finds everywhere mentioned that the newly born Negro enters the world with the same white skin as the European does, and yet not rarely travelers speak of faintly colored newborn children of the black race. A colored child of very light parents may be indistinguishable at birth, so far as color is concerned, from a white child, but the ordinary colored child enters the world noticeably pigmented, and many are very black from start. The color deepens for some years, especially in those born very light. The deepest black or of adult full blood, however, one rarely, if ever, sees the newly born. Of the 40 cases, 35 showed well-marked areas of bluish pigmentation at the time of examination. 40 cases, 35 showed bluish pigmentation, the Mongolian spots. In the American Negro, ladies and gentlemen, the same American Negro that this motherfucker said did not have these spots. You good? What up, YK? So here is another case, YK, of someone not reading the source. As outdated as this source is, he didn't read it. So peep it a little bit more. The spot was seen in 90% of the cases and probably occurs in at least 95% of the ordinary colored children before they reach the 2nd year. Now, they like to cherry pick. I ain't seen nothing in the article yet that says that the American Negro ain't connected to Africa. And it also said that Africans have these spots as well. So again, everyone with melanin. So now I'm trying to figure out, how could he come to the conclusion that the American Negro can't be linked to Africa because of some damn Mongolian spots? So 2 other babies of 7 and 9 months respectively did not show the spot, and the mother stated that it never had been present. In these 2 cases, it may easily have been overlooked earlier. Another child was seen only during the first 2 weeks. It was very light and may have developed a characteristic spot later, although I have never seen a case in which the spot appeared after birth. One other baby I saw a few days after birth, and again 4 months. This child and both parents were very light brown. The child was darker at the last examination, but no spot was present at the time. All of these 4 children were very light except one, 9 months old, who was very dark. I think one may safely assume that in this last case, the spot was present earlier, and that if any was left, it was covered by a heavy black epidermal layer of pigment. The spot was seen in 90% of cases and probably occurs in at least 95% of ordinary colored children before they reach the 2nd year. In the remaining 35 cases, there was always a distinct area, usually a maximum intensity at the very point where the rigma glutea widens out at the sacrum. This area varied in size, from that of a dime to that of a dollar, showed no special symmetry, and was not abruptly defined. In 24 cases, similar areas were found on the buttocks, in 19 in the lumbar region, and in 8 on the back, shoulder, and extensor surfaces of the legs and feet, in 4, and the extensor surfaces of the arms and hands. Only once a flexor surface, never on the ventral surface nor on the head or neck. The color varied from dull bluish gray or slate color to a distinct dull deep blue or violet or plum color. What we are talking about here, ladies and gentlemen, is these so-called Mongolian spots, but they do not. This author of this paper never states, I'm gonna say it again, he does not state that the American Negro is not linked to Africa. He never makes that argument. His argument is that these Mongolian pigment spots show up in melanated people across the globe. Everyone that has that skin pigmentation that's darker. And it shows up rarely in eumelanin or white skinned. There's 10%. So how did he come to the conclusion that he did? He simply made it up. The author of this paper does not even insinuate such a claim. So hell yeah, he gonna run off that panel. Not a coincidence. He wasn't gonna stay up there if we sitting there and we asking him for evidence and we finna pick him apart. Now, let me go back. All right, let me go back. And we need to do this again for everybody to understand.
That is observed at birth. But which it in what way does it occurs in other populations, and what can we deduce from that information? Okay, when we talking about DNA tests, when they do your DNA, they look for the HBS1 and they find the population which has it in the highest frequency, and they say this is the origin population. Okay, this is the scientific methodology that is utilized.
See, look, remember now he's bringing in.
He's making up shit. Hold on,
Squalor. I feel you on that. He don't know too much, but
ultimately to bring us together. And so I just want to lead with that.
Okay, so again, here goes his claim, ladies and gentlemen. What is his claim? Why is he presenting this information to us? He tells us. So even after I showed you what I just did, I defined it for you so you can clearly see what the definition is of the Mongolian spots. And then I told you who it was prevalent, who, you know, the prevalency or the frequency, as he was saying, frequency, the people that were melanated, right? The wide range of people. And then I showed you, right, the people who were at risk of getting these spots. And then I went into the article and showed you and highlighted a couple of areas in there where they showed Africans with the spots. And there was no determination separating African Americans and Africans at all. But here is his claim.
More people might be dropping by, right?
Of course, of course.
Okay, let's get it in, man. Yeah, I got the floor.
Let me just say, appreciate you, Si, for giving us the platform. You know, it's been a long time coming. Shout out to the platform. Shout out to the House of Consciousness. We appreciate y'all having us today. The information that's going to be presented today is not to divide us. It's ultimately to bring us together. And so I just want to lead with that premise. I'm going to let my brothers speak if they would like, and then I'm going to get into a short presentation about Mongolian spots and the prevalence in which, the frequency in which they occur in populations, and how that is a smoking gun in showing that American Negroes, or so-called African Americans, are not connected to the Africans on the continent.
Again,
more people might be dropping by, right?
Are not connected to the Africans on the continent.
What was
ultimately
this?
To bring us together. And so I just want to lead with that premise. I'm gonna let my brothers speak if they would like, and then I'm gonna get into a short presentation about Mongolian spots and the prevalence in which, the frequency in which they occur in populations, and how that is a smoking gun in showing that American Negroes, or so-called African Americans, are not connected to the Africans on the continent.
Now, nowhere in this source does it state that the American Negro, quote unquote, African American, is not connected to Africa. Nowhere. And I just showed y'all real quickly why.
You gonna get this work. You gonna get this work, nigga. I killed you. Hold up. You gonna get this work.
Dom the Mongo.
Lead with that premise. I'm gonna let my brothers speak if they would like, and then I'm gonna get into a short presentation about Mongolian spots and the prevalence in which, the frequency in which they occur in populations, and how that is a smoking gun in showing that American Negroes, or so-called African Americans, are not connected to the Africans on the continent.
Dermal melanocytosis is common among people of Asian, Native American, Hispanic, East Indian, and African descent. He said that it ain't. Blue-gray spots are seen in approximately 90% of African Americans. %90 of African Americans. They didn't say Negro Americans, they said African Americans. The last one said African descent. Are African Americans of African descent? Absolutely.
Hold up. You gonna get this work. You gonna get this work, nigga. I killed you. Hold up. You gonna get this work.
Next up on the chopping block, we're going to deal with another claim that was made during the show. Very disingenuous root words. He does this often, and it's cool, but we're going to get into it. But before I move the needle,
Hey, baby, how was school today?
Mom, these kids at school kept making fun of me and they kept calling my hair nappy. Why, Mom?
Tootie, look, just read this book and it'll tell you everything you need to know.
There's another N-word we throw around in and out of the black community called nappy. We have taken that word like the other N-word, nigger, and made it a word of adornment. I have heard the word nappy my entire life, which was used to insult, degrade, and hurt someone. This word is a derogatory term that was used in our ancestors' society.
Available now.
I love myself.
Same tree, different branch.
I hope you love yourself, because love is only love when you love somebody.
He got the floor. Let's go.
Man, Smoke, bro. Last time you pulled up a source, you asked niggas to take it down because you was getting beat up, bro.
Nah,
so you need to fall back and see how to use
I was
sources.
saving you niggas. I was saving you niggas from the slave trade. Nigga, fuck you talking about?
He said he was saving niggas from the slave. All right, so look, this is why I was trying to ask the question earlier about
genetic discussion. Me off, my nigga. It's my turn, bro. Get me out of here if you're gonna do that. My bad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good.
I was asking, did you
golly, I was breaking up bad, bro.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what these Mongolian spots they arguing about. I'm trying to figure out, determine, but I guess ain't nobody up here to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So
they say Mongolian spots makes you Aboriginal. Meanwhile,
we seeing Chinese people, we seeing
Exactly.
Caucasians, we seeing Turkish people, we seeing Mexicans.
But because I guess Black Americans get it the most. I don't.
And Africans get it the least.
Bro,
we all got birthmarks, bro. I'm gonna say it one more time. I didn't say that, Sean. I said that African Americans, blacks, Aboriginals, we get it the most. All Africans get it the least. So how is there a frequency there?
He lied. Now, he didn't came on the channel. He even called himself African American, by the way. You just heard an Aboriginal call himself African American. But he just came on here and said something. He lied. It's common in Africans. The old study says so. If we just use their logic and their source supports what I just said.
If we in the 99,
hold on. You said African Americans did it the most.
Not a C.
No,
I'm trying to make sure I heard you correct, bro. That's it.
No, shut the fuck up, Sean. See,
but root words.
You let him do
no,
that all the
root
time.
words. Stop. No. I just told him to stop. No, you stop, bro. For real. You telling me I just
now. I was talking and I gotta stop.
No, bro, no. You're sitting here just throwing out accusations.
I'm allowed to say whatever the fuck I want on my time, not to see.
Yo, stop, my nigga, for
Get
real.
me out of here, not to see if I can't talk.
He was asking you for
no, let me talk and you shut the fuck up too, or give me.
Yo, bro, I don't give a fuck, niggas. We don't need that nigga, bro.
Hey, didn't he say? He said us African Americans.
Yeah,
I know. I heard that.
Like he don't want to act. He can't clarify something. Like he just acts like a little girl. Like this shit is ridiculous, man. Like what's wrong with these niggas?
So first of all, we can't be using a source from 1907 to argue against DNA at all, or the biological makeup of African Americans. That's a non-cipher because we're having a genetic discussion.
It's my turn, bro. Get me out of here if you're gonna do that.
My bad, Rude Word. Go ahead, Rude Word. My bad.
No, I'm talking directly to Nada C because he's doing this on purpose and laughing. My show do better than y'all's.
Bro, my mic open. My shit ain't laughing. Listen, hold on.
You are Nada C. You are laughing. Are you gonna let me talk?
Rude Words, you be having like 4 niggas over there. Stop with
you
the
talking.
You gonna let me
what
talk
is you talking
about? Bro, you are
talking. Like 4 niggas over
Goose
your
cut me off again, Nada C.
You are talking. You're wasting your
Sean
time.
cut me
Go ahead.
off. You cut me off. Why you acting like pussies?
Bro, it be 4 niggas off in root chat. He come over here talking about his shit be chunky. Shut your ass up. You are delusional.
Nigga, my shit do. I don't even
Root
like
words.
TV. I don't do this shit like that.
Keep talking about
are you gonna let me talk or not, bro?
Talk.
Okay, now I'm challenging Sean and I'm challenging y'all that DNA is fake because I put my source in the thing that has DNA is fake by the Scientific America. It's a source made by Dr. Junior Mickle on October 13, 2006. Michelangelo DNA fails to pinpoint African ancestry. These hopeful to trace their African ancestry to a particular African tribe are unlikely to find a perfect match, according to the new genetic study. Researchers report that Michelangelo DNA isolated from African Americans matched up to distant African groups in fewer than 2% based on the particular data of African DNA samples. Broader, more pro-bifidus ancestries are more possible, however. I digress on that. Do y'all want the source?
All right, so let me let him get it out.
No. We need you to keep reading because I don't think that you understand it.
He said, "Do I digress?" Shut the fuck up.
All right, so I need to see if not a coincidence pulls up the source, right? So this is the source right here. Now, listen, y'all. Listen. J.R. Minkle, okay? Pinpoint African ancestry, J.R. Mickle. Let me find it. Let me find the original. I like doing this live. Pinpoint African ancestry. J.R. Minkle, or whatever his name is. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. I want everybody to see this. This is his article. Now, we already talked about, right? We already talked about source dates. For those of you who just joined us, I'm gonna run through this real quick. All right? Now, how old your research sources can be using the publication date or date of creation as the defining criteria is either stated in your assignment rubric or depends on your field of study or academic discipline. If it is a requirement for your assignment, look for words like sources must be published in the last 10 years or words that affect specify the publication date or range required. If the currency of your sources is not required for the assignment, think about the course involved and what an appropriate age might be. How fast changing is the field? We're talking science. But here for history, it says, sources for a history paper might, by their very nature, be older if they are diaries, personal letters, or documents created long ago and used as primary sources. Sources used for research in the sciences, which is what we're dealing with, sciences, healthcare, nursing, engineering, business and finance, education, and other social science fields require more cutting-edge research. As these fields change quickly, with the acquisition of new knowledge and the need to share it rapidly with practitioners in those fields. So for fast-paced fields, sources published in the lab in the past 2 to 3 years is a good benchmark, since these sources are more current and reflect the newest discoveries, theories, processes, and best practices. Okay? We needed to know that. And we need him to know that. So here's his article, ladies and gentlemen. It says mitochondrial DNA fails to pinpoint African ancestry. It says the hopes to trace their ancestry to a particular African tribe. Here we go. Key word here is African tribe. This a little bit better for y'all eyes. I zoomed in. Wham bam. Yes, he did sound like a damn fool. But those hoping to trace their ancestry to a particular African tribe are unlikely to find a perfect match, according to a new genetic study. This is key because when he read that, I kept saying this to him the entire time. I'm not going to play the back and forth. It's boring and it'll piss you off. But I knew the article said African tribe. Researchers report that mitochondrial DNA isolated from African Americans match up to a distinct African ethnic group in fewer than 10% of cases, based on partial database of African DNA samples. What is the partial database referring to? African DNA samples regarding African tribe. It can't narrow down in 06. What does it say? Broader or more probabilistic ancestries are still possible, however. So it doesn't say the DNA is fake. By the way, the article never says that DNA is fake. It says it fails to pinpoint African ancestry in regard to what? An African tribe. So he was disingenuous again. Now, an individual's genes are linked to the past, but this stretches across any break in the family or the birthplace through the generations. But not all genes are equally useful in tracing ancestries. The genes present on chromosomes are mixed extensively in every generation, making them a crude guide. In contrast, mitochondrial DNA is passed down from mother to child relatively unchanged, offering an individual the chance of identifying a distinct modern population, such as an ethnic group, having the same ancestors. Such reconstructions may still be imprecise, however, because mitochondrial sequences originating in the one ethnic group can easily leak to the others as women migrate. Now, here we go. Nevertheless, Bert Ely of University of South Carolina wanted to see if he could use mitochondrial DNA sequences to trace the African roots of Black Americans, as some companies have begun offering. Eli and his colleagues amassed 3,725 mostly pre-existing sequences from sub-Saharan Africa. Specifically, they looked at the HSV1 region, which changes fast enough to potentially resolve recent ancestries. They searched their database for matches to samples from 74 South Carolina and Georgia locals who identify themselves as descendants of Africa's Gullah or Geechee people, which number in the hundreds of thousands, and to samples of African Americans obtained from the U.S. Army. Of these test sequences, about half match multiple African ethnic groups, and 40% had no matches. The group reported October 12th in the Biomed Central Biology. The database is likely missing many groups, especially rare ones, Eli admits. The database is likely missing many groups, especially rare ones, Eli admits. But it's very unlikely for any particular individual that you could trace them to any specific tribe, or even ethnic group of a country, he said. Growing the database may turn up mitochondrial sequences specific to cohesive populations, but will probably increase the number of multiple matches as well, he explains. Oh, Where is YK? Is there a YK sighting somewhere? I seen the brother in the chat earlier. Look what the article says. I didn't want to say nothing yesterday, but look what the article says. They have an extremely limited database and thus have limited power to say anything about ancestry, says University of Chicago geneticist Rick Kittles. Rick Kittles. What you say, Rick? You said, what did you say about these doing these ancestry tests of these 74 people in the Gullah region of South Carolina and Georgia? What did he not have? What did this Eli guy not have, Rick? They have extremely limited database and thus have limited power to say anything about ancestry. Do you say so, Rick Kittles? Why you say that, Rick Kittles? Huh? All righty, Rick Kittle says his company matches people probabilistically based on the frequency of their particular sequence variations in different African populations. The researchers might also be overlooking some near misses to sequences in their database, notes Jason Eschman, who agrees with Rick Kittles, a molecular geneticist at Trace Genetics in San Francisco, California. But ultimately, he says, ethnic and linguistic groups don't have sharp biological lines. That's for your boy over there to keep trying to argue linguistics and genetics. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Don't want to say his name right now because I'm firing at elbows. But ultimately, he says, ethnic and linguistic groups don't have sharp biological lines. So you don't know going in what the level of resolution you're going to get is. That's the article. So what about this study? Huh? What about this study, right? Coming over there, gum bumping, saying this, that, and the third, talking about a mother freaking study. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here goes his study of the Science American source that was being referred and manipulated by root words. African American mitochondrial DNAs often match mtDNAs found in multiple, what? Multiple, just in the title, African ethnic groups. Ladies and gentlemen, the abstract reads, mitochondrial, and Sutek had this during the whole conversation, by the way. Mitochondrial DNA haplotypes have become popular tools for tracing maternal ancestry, and so companies offer their services to the general public. Numerous studies have demonstrated that human mtDNA haplogroups can be used with confidence to identify the continent where their haplogroup type originated. Continent. Ideally, mtDNA haplogroups could also be used to identify a particular country or ethnic group from which the maternal ancestor emanated. So this doesn't say that DNA is fake, root words, or that it can't prove this or that, root words. It just basically said in 2006, when it comes to narrowing it down to an exact tribe, it can't do that. That's cool. We understand that. But it can, in 2006, it can land you to a specific country, ethnic group, country, particular country or ethnic group. That's what it says. That's what it says in the study. Huh? Identify a particular country or ethnic group from which your maternal ancestor emanated. Root word. However, the geographic distribution of mtDNA haplotypes is greatly influenced by the movement of both individuals and population groups. Consequently, common to mtDNA haplogroups are shared among multiple ethnic groups. We have studied the distribution of the mtDNA haplogroups among West African ethnic groups to determine how often mtDNA haplogroups can be used to what? What can it be used for? to reconnect Americans of African descent to a country or ethnic group of a maternal ancestor. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. What is rude ass nigga come in at?
Fucking panel, nigga. I'm talking over your bitch ass.
Determined, but I guess ain't nobody up here to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So
they say Mongolian spot
with a source.
All right. So the source that you're using
prove that we're from Africa with the DNA.
That was the whole time, bro. Nah, you still a little in and out. Nah.
Y'all, nigga, my shit do. I don't even like
Root words.
TV. I don't do this shit like that.
Keep talking about
are you gonna let me talk or not, bro? Okay, I'm challenging Sean, and I'm challenging y'all that DNA is fake because I put my source in the thing that has DNA is fake by the Scientific America. It's a source made by Dr. Junior Mickle on October 13, 2006. Michelangelo DNA fails to pinpoint African ancestry.
First of all, what the hell is Michelangelo? First of all. Second of all, the study doesn't say what you just said.
No, I'm talking directly to Nada C because he's doing this on purpose and laughing. My show do better than y'all's.
Bro, my mic open. My shit ain't laughing. Listen, hold on.
You are Nada C. You are laughing. Are you gonna let me talk?
Rude words. You be having like 4 niggas over
bro,
there. Stop with
you
the
talking.
You gonna let me
what
talk
is you talking about?
Bro, you are talking.
Like 4 niggas over
Goose
here.
cut me off again, Nada C.
You are talking. You're wasting your
Sean
time.
cut me
Go
off.
ahead.
You cut me
Talk.
off. Why you acting like pussies?
Bro, it be 4 niggas off in Rude. He come and shut
nigga,
your
my
ass
shit do
up.
way
Nigga,
better
you are
than y'all.
delusional.
Nigga, my shit do. I don't even like
Root words.
TV. I don't do this shit like that.
Keep talking about
are you gonna let me talk or not, bro?
Talk.
Okay, now I'm challenging Sean, and I'm challenging y'all that DNA is fake because I put my source in the thing that has DNA is fake by the Scientific America. It's a source made by Dr. Junior Mickle on October 13, 2006. Michelangelo DNA fails to pinpoint African ancestry. These hopeful to trace their African ancestry to a particular African tribe are nigga, my shit do. I don't even like TV. I don't do this shit like that.
Keep talking about
are you gonna let me talk or not, bro?
Talk.
Okay, now I'm challenging Sean, and I'm challenging y'all that DNA is fake because I put my source in the thing that has DNA is fake by the Scientific American.
Alrighty, so again, what does the title of this article say, ladies and gentlemen? Does it say what he just said? It says mitochondrial DNA fails to pinpoint African ancestry, right? We read the article. It doesn't say it's fake. And it never said that it couldn't do what it's supposed to do. It actually says that it can. And then Rick Kittle's comments and blows up the other group, right? That admits that there's some limitations. Rick Kittle's is like, but brother, I got the largest database for West African tribes. They don't have the database to support that to come to a conclusion. They ain't gonna find all of that. They got limitations. And then another geneticist out in California says, absolutely. They just don't have all the words. Oh, so that's what happened. And then boom, the damn study says we have studied the distribution of mtDNA haplogroups among West African ethnic groups to determine how often mtDNA haplogroups can be used to reconnect Americans of African descent to a country or ethnic group of maternal African ancestry. You disingenuous bastard. How dare you?
Hold up! You gonna get this work! You gonna get this work, nigga! I killed you. Hold up! You gonna get this work!
The nucleotide sequence of the mtDNA hypervariable segment, right, the HVS1 or I, usually provides sufficient information to assign a particular mtDNA to the proper haplogroup, and it contains most of the variation that is available to distinguish a particular mtDNA haplogroup from closely related haplotypes. In this study, samples of general African American and specific Gullah Geechee HVS1 haplogroups were compared with two databases of HVSI haplotypes from sub-Saharan Africa, and the incidences of perfect matches recorded for each sample. So the study says, when two independent African-American samples were analyzed, more than half of the samples of HVSI mtDNA haplogroups exactly matched common haplotypes that were shared among multiple African ethnic groups. Another 40% did not match any sequence in the database, and fewer than 10% were exact match to a sequence from a single African ethnic group. Differences in the regional distribution of haplogroups were observed in the African database, and the African American haplotypes were more likely to match haplotypes found in the ethnic groups of the West or Central West African than those found in Eastern or Southern Africa. Fewer than 14% of the African American mtDNA sequences matches sequences from only West Africa or only West Central Africa. So, our database of sub-Saharan mtDNA sequences include the most common haplotypes that are shared among ethnic groups from multiple regions of Africa. These common haplotypes have been found in half of all sub-Saharan Africans. More than 60% of the remaining haplotypes differ from common haplotypes at a single nucleotide position in the HVSI region, and they are likely to occur at varying frequencies within sub-Saharan Africa. However, the finding that 40% of the African American mtDNAs analyzed had no match in the database indicates what? That only a small fraction of the total number of African haplotypes has been identified. A small fraction of the total number of African haplotypes has been identified. So that explains this whole 40% with no match. Then to turn around and say this. In addition, the findings that fewer than 10% of African Americans' mtDNAs match mtDNA sequences from a single African region suggest that what? More limitations? That a few African Americans might be able to trace their mtDNA lineages to a particular region of Africa, and even fewer will be able to trace their mtDNA to a single ethnic group. However, root word, no firm conclusion should be made until a much larger database is available. Root words. No firm conclusion should be made until a much larger database is available. It is clear, however, that when identical mtDNA haplotypes are shared among many ethnic groups from different parts of Africa, it is impossible to determine which single ethnic group was the source of a particular maternal ancestor based on the mtDNA sequence. The integrity was there, root words, and you voided the integrity of the study.
Hold up! You gonna get this work! You gonna get this work, nigga! I killed you. Hold up! You gonna get this work!
Now, you can go and look at the actual study yourself, and you can analyze everything, and then you can go back to the Science American article that you try to summarize and use. Really, your quick Google cherry pick, and then go from there. Because what you basically just did was more disingenuous shit. And we have more updated information, right, than a 06 article. And the study that was used in this 06 article from Science America, the study that was used says African American mitochondrial DNAs often match mtDNAs found in multiple African ethnic groups. So why is you playing this game, brother? Huh? Why is you playing this game?
Dom the Mongo.
One more time for the one time for the two times.
Talk,
Bro, you are
you like
talking.
4
You
niggas
wasting
over
your
your
time.
chat.
You were.
Goose
You
been
are
cut
talking.
me
You're
off.
wasting your
Sean
time.
cut me
Go
off.
ahead.
You cut me off.
Talk.
Why you acting like pussies,
Bro,
my
it be
nigga?
4 niggas off in root chat. He come over here talking about his shit be chunky.
My
Shut
nigga,
your
my
ass
shit be
up.
way
Nigga,
better
you are
than y'all.
delusional.
Nigga, my shit do. I don't even
Root
like
words.
TV. I don't
Root
do this
words.
shit like that.
Keep talking
No,
about
are you gonna let me talk or not, bro?
talk.
Okay, now I'm challenging Sean and I'm challenging y'all that DNA is fake because I put my source in the thing that has DNA is fake by the Scientific America. It's a source made by Dr. Junior Mickle on October 13, 2006. Michelangelo DNA fails to pinpoint African ancestry. These hopeful to trace their African ancestry to a particular African tribe are unlikely to find a perfect match, according to the new genetic study. Researchers report that Michelangelo DNA isolated from African Americans matched up to distant African groups in fewer than 2% based on the particular data of African DNA samples. Broader, more pro-bifidus ancestries are more possible, however. I digress on that. Do y'all want the
Can you?
source?
No,
Yeah,
no,
put
no.
it in
We
the
need
back
you to
chat.
keep reading because I don't think that
Put it
you
in the back chat.
understand it.
He said, do I digress?
Now, so again, you heard him make the claim originally that he had a source. His source said that DNA was fake. The source never said that DNA was fake. The source said that there was limitations, that it can't be DNA can't be narrowed down in 06 to a particular tribe. Rick Kittles come behind them and says, I'm tribe specific in my DNA analysis. You just don't have the data. Right? He tells them that you just don't have the data that I got. Right? So now that we know when we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen, let me just be clear. Let me be clear. We know now, right? When we're dealing with, let me stop sharing. We know now that when we are dealing with science or the sciences, that we need to check the dates. We need to take the dates, the authors involved in the studies, supportive evidence. We need to look for all of that, but we need to check the dates. We should not interject into a conversation an article from 2006 that you never read or understood. Because if you read it and understood it or comprehended what the study was saying, you would have never used it to try to say the DNA was fake, because they never argued the DNA was fake. They said that there was limitations in aiming it down to a specific tribe. And then to turn around and use the manipulation of data that they didn't have and say, well, 40% didn't have no match. So this can't be us, right? You did all of that, flim-flamming and shim-shamming, but not knowing that the actual study said that they didn't have all the data. They had a small sample size of a wider variety of African ethnic groups, etc. So you made that up. And that cost you root words. So because you didn't even read the article in its entirety, and you was trying to cherry pick something and then label it the way that you tried to label it, knowing that the article didn't even read the way you tried to label it, it's a you problem. It goes back to your integrity. See, you lack integrity. But see, in sciences, right, we know that we got to check the dates, check the authors, read the studies. If anything, we need to read the summary of the article, which is the abstract, understand the methodology, and then look at the results. Then we can go and read the entire study to see if we can understand the study for ourselves, and if it matches with the summary that we read, the tools that was used to do the study, and how they came to their conclusion. And then we can go look for supportive evidence of that conclusion. No. You didn't even look at the study. You didn't even know. You just thought that this Science American journal article was going to just get you somewhere into an argument to say the DNA was fake, and it didn't. And we called you out on a lot of that because I was asking information that you didn't have an answer for. And you were trying to get us real quick. Now you look like a freaking fool. And for that,
hold up! You gonna get this work! You gonna get this work, nigga! I killed you. Hold up! You gonna get this work!
so the link is in the chat. I have presented against the Geechee guy and his malfunctions and his lack of reading comprehension and understanding sources, dates, and the importance of sciences and how evolving science is. The same thing with root words. Two birds, one show. If you disagree with any information presented in this bill, you're more than free to refute that information with evidence that can be substantiated. Your opinion and your feelings does not matter, because everything African over here, and both studies, both refutations show that we are linked to Africa. Mongolian spots doesn't determine ancestry, and it doesn't determine biological makeup. And the source wasn't even arguing that information. So how could you try to use that source to argue such and to make such a claim? Geechee dude who got mad and started running because I came on a panel. Soon as I came on the panel and I said something, you got to running like a little scared ass toddler who just seen someone in a Halloween costume and they got the hell up out of there. You ran, bro. And root word, you so false. Now, I'm going to do y'all one more favor. I'm going to do you a favor, not a coincidence. I know you probably ain't paying attention right now. If you are, I'm going to do you a favor, bro. Just for you. We can no longer consider these spots as exclusive race characteristics. They are to be accorded the same value as other racial traits, color, hair, features, etc. Their presence of absence in given cases leads to highly probable but not positive determination as to race or to degree of contamination. This is of a special interest to us in this country. That is the ending part of the actual argument about these Mongolian spots that the author is presenting. And he is showing that in these melanated populations, we can no longer consider these spots as exclusive race characteristics. So, everything that was presented today is in the description of the video. Anyone that wants to refute anything that I presented, you're more than welcome to read all the material provided to you in this video. Click on the description, capture each source. It is provided to you, even the study. What up, Lucky? They said that we've been here, but they don't have evidence for that. None of the evidence supports them. They have an issue with DNA, but then DNA continues to be the front runner for genetics. And everything that they're arguing against, we continue to show where they have faults. Man, my body's sore on the mug, yo. I can barely walk. Like, if I sit for too long, like right now, I've been sitting as long as I've been sitting. When I try to get up, my lower back is a problem. My legs sore, my quads, my knees. I played 3 football games. And then I went to the gym this morning to try to work some of the soreness out. That was a bad idea. But anyway, the link is in the chat. 2 claims debunked, refuted with evidence. What up, yo? What's good? What's good with you, bro?
What's good, bro? What's good?
Man,
Them Abos running.
Yeah, they're running.
Yeah, but Geechee, he didn't stay long enough for me to show him that bottom part. You see, I went down to the sources. It's right there. He didn't stay long enough.
Yeah, he didn't stay.
I tried to show him that one time on the show too, but I never get to that point because it always turns into something ugly. But yeah, they always die at their source, man. It's crazy.
He never read the studies.
Nope.
He looked up some stuff and was like, oh, okay, so we got these spots, and then these particular people got these spots, and it ain't that common in Africans. But you have to think, right? And most Africans that are near the equator, like if they're East African or something like that, the real dark ones, right? Which isn't the totality of the population in Africa. You ain't seeing them spots.
Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to tell.
But when you get away from the equator in other areas, you will see the spots.
When you get to that more brown skin, especially when they're born, they're more lighter than, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've seen babies when they're born. Like, yeah, exactly. So you're gonna see that more pronounced melanin spot. Wow.
So it was a lack of integrity in the source, right? Well, why are you presenting this? What are you trying to present this to say? And the source isn't saying what they want to say.
They're saying exactly the source is actually refuting what his claim is. How you can use this Mongolian spots for race, and you could tell it's the origin. It's saying you can't do none of that.
Yeah.
So, but that's why they get emotional when he came on. You start questioning him. He couldn't. He don't even act like that on his own channel. Like, it was crazy. But that's why I was telling him, like, yo, bro, I can't believe you acting like this. Like, that shit was sad, but you know, they're really attached to this ideology, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Crazy.
Shit, we're lucky. Where YK at, man? Tell them niggas to pull up.
I put a link in there for him, yo.
But did you see them? They had somebody. Well, you don't watch Sarnetta, but they had another lady up there on Sarnetta from the Aboriginal, and she's not even worth talking about because she's just all over the place. But what was funny about it was Sarnetta said to her, like, well, at least you're not running like the guys was running, because you know when YK came up there, they was like, oh, we don't want to talk to him no more, and they didn't want to talk to certain people. They was running from questions. So I killed them because they were trying to act like they did such a good job on Sarnetta. Like, now y'all didn't, man. Y'all look real bad. Well, but he even said they was running. That's why they stay in the echo chamber, though. They can't step out. They can't step into reality with that thinking.
Nah, bro. Nope. Critical thinking kills them every time. So it's kind of funny that it's all right. So I had a post, man. Let me read it to you real quick. It came up in my memories from last year. It says being able to change our minds about something to realize that we hold a false belief and to then correct it is an invaluable human capability. It says false beliefs can confuse debates, lead us to poor choices than we might otherwise make, and in general, limit our opportunities to make the most of our circumstances. Yet it's a capability that we can sometimes take for granted, so much so that we forget that it can be exercised and strengthened, or that we can become worse at it over time. If we allow faulty assumptions or poor reasoning to become entrenched in our minds, even if we can recall recent cases in which we've changed our minds about something, maybe the extent to which you favor one political candidate over another, the performance of your sports team, or where you should invest your money, those easy to remember cases might obscure an underlying and perhaps pervasive tendency not to interrogate our beliefs as often as we should. That comes out of a critical thinking book, right? The name of the book is Critical Thinking, Science, and Pseudoscience. And that's what happens over there on that side, bro. They don't have the compensity to have, you know, to know what proper research methodology looks like, or to think critically and, you know, try to falsify their own beliefs. You know what I'm saying? It's just a cult. It's another religion. It's every bit of it. It's every bit of it. That's why it's so easy to defeat and refute, because I don't care if they never show up on our panels and they hide from us. You're hiding for a reason. You're not showing up for a reason, because you don't have the capacity to do the things that trained minds are able to do. That's why YK can do a video, break down a video and do it in little spurts like that and be killing it. You know what I mean? Just be breaking it down, and it's like, damn, yeah, he got us. But because it ain't being seen by 3,000 people, right? Or 5,000 people, then they feel like they're safe. Nah, they ain't safe.
Yeah. And they also preach to them, like, don't watch that type of content. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the devil's content type shit. Like, so they're not even gonna try to watch videos from YK and shit like that when he is doing that. But like, you could literally just watch one of their lives and make about 3-4 videos like that daily if you wanted to. That's how bad it is over there. And like on your post it touched on, they don't have the ability to say they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just don't have that ability. That like crumbles their whole reality.
Right.
So yeah, man.
But yeah,
I'm trying to put my daughter to sleep so I can get on this computer. She's fighting it. She's just laying there looking.
9:23.
Huh?
Nah, yeah, it's almost 9:30. Where you at?
Yeah, she going to sleep though. But yeah, like, it's more we got to touch on with that whole appearance, because too many people seen that for us to just let it slide. Because like the A1 did a thing on like black slave owners and white slaves that we really got to go in on, because it's the same thing they're doing. They abuse sources. They cherry pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, they use all the fallacies.
Yeah, nah, I get it. I mean, I get it. I understand that they're doing what it is that they're doing. Hey, Sean, what's your thoughts on this pygmy claim about them coming to America first? The pygmies ain't doing nothing. No, nah, pygmies ain't doing none of that, bro. They're hunter gatherers, yo. They in the forest. They're not looking to do anything, bro. There's no, you know, they ain't even the technology that the pygmies had. As a matter of fact, let me it's funny that he say that, right? So real quick. Now, I didn't pull nothing up. I didn't pull nothing up. I didn't go look for nothing and none of that. But on the screen, you see this book right here, right? What does it say? Hunter-gatherers of the Congo Basin, Culture, History, and Biology of the African Pygmies. Now, it's funny that he would bring the pygmies up, and I've been had this book up now. The reason that I had this book up, because I already been reading this book, and I did a show about some information in this book a while ago, and I never X'd out of it. I just left the book up because I was going to come back to it. Now, in this book, well, in the build that I did, I also had like a little video. I had some videos attached to it. But in this, right, you ain't gonna see nothing about them building no boats, floating, navigating, doing none of that stuff, bro. Them people, listen, the most technology pygmies did, bro, was build ways to trap honey.
Yeah, they more one with nature type of thing, man.
Yeah. They built
And
mechanisms to help them do that stuff. Look, honey
yeah.
containers, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We got all the technology and all of that. So yeah, you said they shot.
So are they are they trying to claim the pygmies because we know like pygmies are one of the oldest people, right? So that's just them trying to
I guess,
you know, just latch on to something because you know they latch on to a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? Like they, you know, they latch on to Egypt because it's technological advances. They probably latching on the pygmies because they're old. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
they latch on to the Romans because they conquered things. You know what I'm saying? So, but they say that's all them. So I don't. It's weird with them, man. It's weird.
What up, Lucky?
What up, Lucky?
We can't hear you, bro. You know, mute.
Hold on. Yeah. I had to get my I had to mute myself in the background. What's up, y'all?
What's good, bro?
Man, so what we got on the schedule today? We got root words.
Yeah, he already, you know, he lined up him and Geechee. So both of them were disingenuous. So we got Geechee out the way. We got root words out the way. But then now the coincidence is saying there's still some stuff to get out the way regarding what A1 put on the screen on that last show and whatever else that could be, I guess, left over from that. I think YK might be digging into that today because he said something about digging into it.
Oh, YK was talking about doing something with that.
So what you mean? Not a coincidence. I see you said something. But I didn't catch that live. What you talking about? A1 said.
Oh nah. So you know how they all had like different presentations. A1 presentation was basically based on black slave owners and white slaves.
Oh,
So
okay.
he pushing that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know
Yeah,
how he do.
that's his bag. Yeah, that's for sure. That's his bag. That's funny in a bit though. You got on Sarnetta and you went there. That's not the wave.
Yo, when Sarnetta said when he told Sarnetta it was white slave, you didn't see when I think I played that part one time. He was like, "What? What?" Sarnetta eyes got so big, like, "What? White
Oh
slave?"
yeah, no, I seen that shit. That nigga shit jumped out his head, yo. So I know what he doing though. So I funny in a bitch.
Well, but they try to he try to bring it all the way up to 1865, Sean. He trying to say he say 300,000 white slaves came in 1618 and they got freed in 1865 and we was the owners of them.
What? How?
Yeah, exactly.
What black people was owning white slaves, yo?
So that's my point. And Lucky could attest to it. They never answer that. They bring
Now
up
what
people
they
like
do is they
they
bring up
bring up
Ellison.
William Ellison, but he never
Yeah.
had any white slaves, and I showed him that. Like I showed him a census from 1850. Him and his sons is on it. His 3 sons, they all got black slaves.
I don't know
Right?
why he keeps going Ellison when like Not a Coincidence said, Not a Coincidence has exposed that so many times one-on-one with him to where I'm like, you gotta
From
go grab another
newspapers,
person.
the
You can't keep
census,
grabbing
yeah.
the same person. You
Now we found this guy Antoine Duboulette from Louisiana, but he was a you know, a rich black slave owner. But he still didn't have any black slaves. I mean, any white slaves.
But what they
None
do,
of
Not a
them.
Coincidence, they find somebody who has some type of French or some type of Spanish ancestry, and then they tie that into the black slave on there. They don't even take the full-blooded African who comes over and makes it that way. They always find somebody who has a white slave owner
Yeah.
attached to them in their storyline. It's
Because
never like one of, you know what I'm saying?
most of the time, that's how for the ones that was doing it for profit, it wasn't just trying to free their family members. The ones that was like the black people was exposed to, they had white ancestry most of the time that kind of accepted them and didn't shun them away because they was black. So like Antoine Dubuque, he got white ancestry, like his grandfather or something is white, but Dave was able to stay on the money side. You get what I'm saying? But he still owned black people, like, and not white people. So
Right. That's how he made his money, yo.
Yeah.
He wasn't no white man. They would have hung his ass. He tried to have some white slaves. At that time, bro, nah, bro, no.
Now
Especially in them places.
Now we know there's black people that can pass, right, for white.
Right. Yeah.
Because of all this mixing. So another thing they like to do is confuse that. Because there's a book that they like to use, The Forgotten Cause of the Civil War.
Anything that says forgotten or forbidden, yo, I ain't listening to it.
Yeah, but listen, the book there's nothing even wrong with the book. They're just manipulating the book. The book is talking about how basically the North used propaganda to show the people in the North how, look, you could be a slave too. Look at these white people, even though they're saying they're mulattoes and their grandmother's black and that's why they're enslaved, but they still look white. So why couldn't that be you? And mind you, you have these slave catchers coming to the North, snatching people up. So they're using all that to try to scare them into saying why we should get rid of this slavery at this time. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a tool. So it's not to say that the white people was being enslaved. It's like these people had black grandmothers. You feel what I'm saying? Or black great grandmothers, and now they look white. And there's no difference between you and another white person, or that enslaved looking white person and you. So that's what the book is really about, the one drop rule.
Yeah,
so but he takes it and he makes the opposite
book
claim.
Isn't bad. Yeah, the book isn't bad. You feel what I'm saying? But he just abuses the book. You feel like
my grandmother and her mother used to pass. My great grandmother, they could pass for white. They were so fair-skinned, light-skinned women, and they used to be able to catch calves. But my grandmother would only do it at certain hours. She wouldn't be able to do it because she wouldn't do it in like if it was a club or something like that. She wouldn't try to catch a cab around her black friends or anything like that because, feel me, it'll be an issue.
Yeah.
But she should do that. It's pretty interesting. But she was it'd be nervous at first, but when she get in the car, get the rolling, you just take her where she go and she just play a part. But even in her photo, in a black and white photo, when she graduated from nursing school, like she don't stand out at all next to the white girls in photo. So it's like damn, you know what I'm saying? Then a black lady be up there, you be like, yeah, she's so light. But yeah, you know, her little fair ass was fair.
Right, and we all got like that story in our family, and then they'll take those ancestors and put the mystery around why they was fair skinned. You know what I mean? They put a whole spook story on it. That way, when you really discover their ancestor might have some mix in them, they like, oh no, he not African. Like how are we doing that though?
Yeah,
it's crazy. They'll go black European before they go African, which is wild.
Wow. But yeah, it's a lot of levels to how they try to abuse that white slave myth, you know what I'm saying? But it's all exposed, you know what I'm saying? Easily exposed.
Yeah. Sutek said you gotta watch the movie called Passing on Netflix. So it gets to the nuances of it.
Yeah, okay. I seen another. I'm trying to think of. It was an old movie. I forget the name though.
Oh yeah, your baby, she bucking it. How old is she?
Yeah, she about to be 4 months on the 19th.
She thugging out. Yeah.
She just dozed off too.
Yeah, she bucking it. I hear her too. She try to grab the bottle.
Yeah. I'm about to go. I'll be back.
All right. Yeah, that's what's up, man. It's dope, man. 4-month-old daughter, yo. Your hands full, boy.
Yo, bro, I literally started over. I got a 23-year-old. I got a 23-year-old, a 19-year-old that's about to be 20, a 12, and an 11-year-old. I started all the way over.
Yo, it be like that, yo. You know what I'm saying? I got finna be 21, 15, and 11. So nah, don't try to hit me with the newborn. I ain't got no skeet for nobody. Sorry. What's up? Let's see you. Khalil says Africa was literally the Walmart of resources. What the fuck? But they go into the ocean for it. Facts. Especially the pygmies, yo. The pygmies ain't going into no water. Listen, man, Africans was afraid of the ocean, not lakes, not rivers, ocean. They didn't do that. It had limitations. They wasn't even going out to they had to stay within a certain area of that oceanic way, and they knew that because them little boats and rafts would get to going, and they can't control or stop it. The current was too much, yo. Listen, after the last glacial maximum, the Pacific and the Atlantic grew violent. Think about what I'm saying. When all that ice from all over them places started melting and stuff started rising up even more, the oceans grew violent. That's why right off the West Coast, where they was coming through and coming down into West Africa, those cross current winds, they couldn't drift back north. They had to hug near the inland to get back north when they first started coming down into West Africa and Central Africa. They couldn't get the boats to go back up north. They had developed technology that allowed them to drift. So when they got too far out into the ocean, that technology would allow them to be able to steer them from a spinning cycle, because the cross oceanic, slipping my mind with the word I'm using, but that flow was circling. The current is the word. That current would just reverse them. And if they can get up out of that, then they couldn't control which direction. Because if it sent them too far to the, out to toward the Atlantic, problems for them. They don't know if they can survive any of that, so they stay more inland, right off them shores, the shorelines, because that's the type of boats that they actually had. And it wasn't until the 15th century that the technology was developed that allowed them to be able to circumnavigate and do what needed to be done out there in the oceans. Go and come as they please.
They say that though, Sean. They say it's the pygmy, but they call them the Twa. You know what I'm saying? They say like the Twa people, they was in Ireland and all this type of shit like that. That's really what they go with. You know what I'm saying? Old Norse wise.
It says, "Hey Sean, you believe the Bering Strait froze up long enough for them to get across?" So in my mind, I think a lot of them died and didn't make it. Nah. First of all, if you understand the Bering Strait, right? That split between those two. Hold on, I gotta pull it up because I always mess the name up. So there's evidence for the Bering Strait that we know of. Bro, I ain't even gonna tell you what my Google search pulled up. That mug pulled up Bering Strait. I did not say. I typed in Bering Strait. That mug said Bering Strait. But that land bridge, right? In between that gap. I'm trying to find the name of it. I got it in the video. The two.
You're talking about Beringia.
Yeah, the Beringia. But what I'm talking about is what they named the glacial split. up there. Like they labeled it dang, what was the name of it? Gotta find it, yo. But anyway, so in that split, that's how they found evidence. But yeah, there would be people that would have died along the travels from that way. Absolutely. You don't just everybody ain't making it. But the way that they traveled in packs, they traveled in small groups, yo, that allowed them the ability, the Laurentine, that's what I was trying to say. The Laurentide ice sheet, and then I forgot what the other one is. But it was two ice sheets that we're talking about. The Laurentine ice sheet and the Cordilleran ice sheet. I found it. Those would be the areas of focus. So let me show this real quick on the screen. You see this picture right here? Open of human migration routes in North America, the land bridge. This is the area right here, bro. These are the two areas. Here. Now, I know you're thinking, why here? They could take like little water rafts or boats down here because it's still ice, and the ocean, the Pacific Ocean at this time, while before the last glacial maximum was low. It was 300 feet lower than it is today. So they took this route right here. They followed the animals into North America. Damn, I'm tripping. They followed the animals into North America. That way. You had two population migrations. You had people populating North America from these routes. I'm calling this one route because it's the same location, just two different destinations. And then you had people coming from a different corridor, which would be from, let me pull this up. Let me back off it. And then let me read. All right, boom. So you had people that migrated this way into North America. They call that the NNA, right? The North American migration. And then you had the people coming from this way, right? That hit all these little islands right here. Now, this is a better picture because people think the Pacific Ocean, you're not going to run into land or any shit like that. There's Hawaii right up here. We know this is Hawaii. But look at all these little landmarks right here, these little islands that you can hit. You know what I'm saying? And imagine being able to hit all these little islands before you really got to get somewhere. And of course, there is some markers that are out here, but there's still land that hits here and then coming over here. And then this is how you get people. So you got people coming through rafting with low tides, low aggressive Pacific Ocean. The ice is holding all the water at bay. So there's not a lot of water in this particular area. They can get here, bouncing around, they get here eventually. So they will populate from this area and they will populate from this area. They call it the SNA and the NNA. And we have genetic evidence of such. And we also have archaeological evidence of such. And then anthropological and everything that we need to support all of that with the other sciences. That's what we have. So we know the migrational patterns because we studied them, but I also got shown on the shit. Another thing I don't think people think about, consider is the fact that a lot of slave ships probably sunk everybody on the pass. Not all. Not all. With they could shipwreck, yes, shipwreck, and you would have a lot of people die, but you would have some people survive. depending on where the shipwrecks were. The shipwrecks normally occurred near land, some kind of weird way. Stuff like that would happen. But no, diseases was killing people, bro. There was millions of bodies that either took their own fate or died along the way. So not everybody made it from Africa to the Americas. Lee Clinton, what are you asking? What information is from what? What's your contention? What information are you referring to, brother? Any information that I present can be bagged up. So what are you asking? Which information? The information about the Bering Straits and the South Native American stuff? Okay. Yeah, so all of this is science. But if you want a source, if you want several sources, I can give you several sources. Actually, I can do you one even better. So let me pull this up.
Yeah, I like that diagram you just had on the thing.
Oh yeah, that's out of a science article. But that diagram gives you a better view of how to look at the travel, especially if you understand that. So
that's the only one I've seen that puts the Sahel landmass on the map, like how you just said, so you can see it.
Third, yep. On the other maps, you can't see them.
Yeah, I like that.
On the other maps, you cannot see them little small ass islands. So if you go back, bro, and you look on this channel, there's going to be information regarding what I just showed on the screen. If it's not on this channel, right, then you gotta go to Science with Sean. If you go to Science with Sean right here on the screen, and you click on live, the information that you're requesting specifically is going to be in these videos right here. Right? Look, the Wisconsin glacial period, I talk about it here. I talk about it here. I talk about it here. It's a running theme in these videos right here. Forget the Thunder video. I beat them up about something. But in these videos right here, I tell you specifically in these videos. Now, if I just click on a video, right, and you're like, where's the information coming from, right? Just click on the description of the video, and there go all your answers to what you were asking for. So I'm going to show you that information. So now let me let's talk about the Clovis points. But here's one of the sources talking about the Paleo-Indian period. This is another source. You asked me, where's this information coming from? This is from a geneticist, Jennifer Raff, Dr. Jennifer Raff. The book is called Origin. It's a genetic history of the Americas. And this is where you get that. And I also support it with other scientific data, right? Talking about the whole South and North travels. So nothing, if I say something, brother, it ain't gonna be me saying something just to be saying something. It's gonna be backed with evidence. So, you know, those are some videos for you. You can go check. As you can see, they're on Science with Sean. That'll show you all the evidence you need and more. So this is talking about out of Africa. And I got some other stuff that I can get into regarding some of the silly arguments that they were making. But I'm just sitting here waiting on the time to catch them jumping out the window regarding some out of Africa stuff. And I'm I'm gonna end up.
Or if you're trying to catch some out of Africa, all you gotta do is lock in to one of Chief Holiday live streams. Here, they only
Hey,
have
hold
3
up.
talking points.
Hey, so a marvelous one. That is incorrect. There's a ton of evidence. So they have sites along the Beringer where they showed them killing mastodons and eating them through those glacial through the Cordellan and the whatever the other one is, it keeps slipping my mind. Through both of those ice sheets. I'm talking about the Bering Strait. Bro, they even had fire there and they left DNA evidence. So when you say that there's no archaeology to justify the Bering Strait, that's disingenuously not right. That's not right at all. There's tons of evidence. This information has been public, bro. I just showed you the video. No. I just showed you the video. I just showed you the video. Go
And
watch.
wasn't that video from like 2016 you just put had up there?
No, that was a lecture regarding Clovis points. That was
the last. Well, not that. But how long ago was that? You just because you just
no,
showed something instead of.
I named them the myth of the 2016 Aboriginal Indigenous movement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the name of the movement. So, bro, yeah, I don't care what you're talking. I already got it. How you think? How do you? All right. So listen. I got it, bro. Look, this is showing you coming down through there. The first humans arrived in the Virginians sometime at the end of the ice or the Pleistocene. You said that there's no archaeological evidence, right? There's evidence. They find points, bro. They find all kind of stuff. So you got to go back and watch According to Science, the myth of the 2016 Aboriginal. I go into all of that. That's evidence, bro. The boats. Look at that. That's archaeology in this person's hand right here. You said that they ain't got no archaeology of it. Look what they chasing. They chasing these mammals through. So you're going to find them dead in between the ice ages and the whole 9 yards, bro. We ain't got to make it up. You said this evidence don't exist? How I get it? This article was written in 2017 talking about how they was taking the boats. This article right here, 2017. Most archaeologists think the first Americans arrived by boat. You said archaeology.
You showing them videos where you got firsthand archaeology, and he's telling you that you need more videos. He's showing you in the videos where you can get the information. Like, what is he talking about?
Yeah. So again, you said I need more information. So how much information do you need? There's 2 videos. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sources to go with 2 videos. That's just in one video, bro. That's one video. That's one live stream. What about the other live streams? You see this? What about the other ones?
Man, he should come up here.
What about the other ones, yo? Like every video that I have is going to. He dropped the link in the. Sute dropped the link in the chat. But every video that I have is going to have sources in them, bro, and it's not the same sources. It's not. So if you go back and you watch them, they're there for a reason. And yes, they're on multiple channels. So everything you want to talk about. June 19th, from the Shorter Sea Lecture, Earliest Human Migrations to North America. You said you want archaeology, bro. We got it. We got it. That's all I deal with. I don't argue from ignorance and I don't talk speculation. I love archaeology and I love anthropology. That's one of the 2 fields of science that I enjoy the most. And I love methodology. That's how I can catch people real quick on their bullshit and I be calling it out. Come on, man. Like, you saying that ain't no evidence for this, ain't no evidence for that, bro. What are you talking about? Show me where it ain't no evidence at. Go to Science with Sean. Look, I'm gonna drop this in the chat for you. Go to Science with Sean. Do your homework. All you got to do is comment on this video when you get done. And then if you want to discuss any of the evidence, then we can deal with it, bro. Other than that, you sitting up here with a red and white crown hat over here acting like you from Kemet. Lee says he's skeptical of Caucasian sources. So am I, brother. I'm skeptical of Caucasian sources too. So that's why I read all the material. I don't care if they white, black, green, blue, brown. I don't care who they are, what they look like. Everyone can tell you a lie. So therefore, I question everything. There again, no, it was not. It was not virtually impossible. I just showed you on the screen, bro, where there was a pathway between those glaciers. I could have sworn I did. I could have sworn I did, bro. I named them too. I named those two areas. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm tripping.
Nah, you did. You did. I seen it.
He don't even get that the source is provided in the video. So like he can go and verify it for himself. A lot of this is laziness. We're dealing with people that are lazy.
Yeah, but this brother got a red and white crown on, yo. I mean, as a avatar. So that's everyday Egypt. Nah, you can love Egypt, bro. I study Medu Neter. But I ain't into all of that. Perpetrating fraud. He said you showed me images or videos. Okay, I presented information in the videos. You can stop talking to us and you can start going to do that work. I didn't give you, no. See, that's the difference. That's the difference. Brother, I just showed you videos that got sources in the description of the videos. Why would you say this?
He's never seen something like that before, Sean. So he didn't even recognize it. It just went straight past his vision.
Bro, I literally said all you got to do is go to the description of the video and all the sources is there, bro. I ain't going to tell you to go watch a video and not give you sources. I'm not them. Right. Look, Sutek. Look at Sutek comment. Look at it. Jesus, take the wheel. Well, them boys funny, yo. The other guy. Well, I appreciate y'all pseudo asses coming over here. I joined in late, my brother. Are you saying that black people in America are indigenous Native Americans? No, lead. Hell no. Our asses is African. We are descendants of Africans. I don't claim that book. Bro, hold on. Let me show you. Let me show you something real quick. Read that. Read this thing right here. Aboriginal, indigenous, anti-science killer. So how the hell would I say that the people are in the Americas, yo? The title of the video says Aboriginal ignorance and why outdated sources in science are unreliable. I think you slow, Marvelous.
Yeah, he got to be.
Nah, you good, Lee. You said you came in late, bro. It's understood. So you could take the position of not knowing because out of ignorance. because you came in late. Not saying that you're ignorant or anything, just saying, without knowing knowledge.
Did you catch Sister Soul Man today on their platform?
On who platform? Nah, I ain't
On
catching that.
Sonetta.
No, I don't watch Sonetta at all.
Oh yeah, man. I tapped in for a quick 35-minute break, man. That junk was it was filled with a lot of that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that
This is how I get any information from regarding that platform. Not a coincidence, or if I'm on Garfield show, or if I tune in the Garfield show. It's the only way that I get anything that comes from that direction. Other than that, I don't deal with any period point blank.
Yeah, they was up there. They was up there doing their thing.
Yeah, that's what
Old dog Nutrix was on there. He asked some great questions, and pretty much they ain't had no answers for him. And you know what I'm saying? They got rambling and gish galloping, and then it turned into I don't even know, it was like 5, 6, 7, 8 different people giving their opinion on life, and nobody was answering the question. So I'm like, man, this is great entertainment. It's great. Yeah.
I got
that's always what it turned into, especially when you're dealing with the Abo females. Hey, peace, bro. It's my first time on this channel, man. Salute, bro. My name is Real Rap, man. How y'all doing?
Real Rap, what's good?
Oh, what's up,
Sean,
Rap?
you remember Real Rap? He was on there last night.
Yeah, he was on there last night.
It wasn't this channel. I thought it was your channel, not a coincidence.
Nah, it was mine. It was mine. Yeah, it was mine. But I was just asking if Sean remember you.
I got you. Yeah, man. We had a good convo, man. We talked till like 3 a.m, bro. And then y'all kept me up all night, man. I had to catch up on that sleep today. But I saw clips of it. Grateful made a face appearance. She showed her face. Man, bro. I ain't gonna say who, man, but my boy said she looked like Tales from the Crypt. I said, come on, bro, stop it. These dudes, man. Anyway, not to be petty. Abos ain't got it, bro. And that's why I'm on my own, bro. I'm like Rambo. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm aligned with some of their talking points, you know what I'm saying? But I'm from Louisiana, bro, and I don't tell Africans that they're not African. I don't tell nobody nothing of who they are outside of me, of what I can prove. So it always, to Lucky's point, is always going to do that, bro. Women had a way, some women, not all, because you got some sharp women out there, but you got some women that have a way, bro, of just, it starts turning into this venting, then it turns into trauma bonding, and it's like, bro, nobody wants to hear that bullshit, man. Like, respectfully, like, that's what it turns into, because they just don't have enough information. So they got to turn it into this kumbaya, my lord, oh man, Abola, my lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a big Abo fest, man. And I'm sick of it, bro. They ain't got no information, fam. Yeah, I'm a renegade Abo. That's right. I'm the Abo savior and the Abo destroyer. That's right. I'm the real Charleston.
He said he the savior and the destroyer. That nigga rap.
You know, what happens with, because I know yesterday I heard you say something about like doing your DNA and all of that.
Yeah.
I think that's important for 2 reasons, right? For 2 reasons, because it can help substantiate your history, your family history, your oral history, as some would say, and then it will support anything that you needed to do moving forward. If there's land grants and stuff like that could be available to you. So, or it could do a lot of correcting. How would you feel if your genetic evidence comes back and reveals that you need to make some corrections in your position?
Genome-wise, DNA-wise, I'm going to do it because I'm going to show the fallacies in DNA testing. I'm going to take as many DNA tests as I can to show there's no variable, there's no consistency. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show, I'm going to pay my money.
Hold on real quick before you go too far. You said that you're going to show the fallacies of DNA?
Yes.
How are you? What are the fallacies? Can you give me like the?
Yeah, like for instance, genealogy. If I got you, genealogy is not linked to geography. So if you're dealing with human history, bro, as far as if you want to say current out of Africa theory, 200 to 300 years, out of Australia theory, 400 years, out of Asia, going to be in the same, out of Europe, going to be the same. There's no official out of America. And that's why, I'm going to answer your question. I just want to give you deeper context. That's why I stated last night, I have I call it water world, but the concept is showing that there's no out of anywhere. And that's why the Abos hate me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't support out of America. I don't. It's no evidence stating that. There's no evidence stating that all the world's population came from one distinct common ancestor, aka mitochondrial Eve. You know, like I know, when you double up the DNA strand, for instance, if you were to have, I'm not even going to use you, if someone was to have children and their children were to make or try to procreate, bro, you're getting double the genes, bro. All right, nothing in life. What I mean, what I mean is, you need a different source. Like you can't keep going through how science would kind of what they lead into is kind of like incest. Like
No, hold on. So real quick. So just one thing that you said is incorrect about DNA. You're saying that you can't prove your ancestry through geography. That's what you said, right?
What I said is
genealogy through geography.
It's not. Yeah. Well, I said I'm verbatim genealogy, and this is based off the science. When I read that,
different. That's different than DNA.
Yeah, I'm getting there though. I'm getting to the DNA part. That's why I said I'm not ducking the question. I'll just give them my full, because people don't know my full argument point. That's why I make people understand I am not aligned with this abo crap. I believe in science. I believe in cell science. I go back to prokaryotic cell research, which is 3.5 billion years. They're not going to do that, right? So I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get back to the DNA. Like I said last night, they can't answer me. How did a prokaryotic cell, a singular cell organism, manipulate itself into becoming eukaryotic? They're never going to be able to answer that because they don't have the key point of archaea. I'm giving you that. Now, DNA wise. So DNA, what I'm going to do, I don't have all the science on it, but I do know I have a little bit of knowledge about alleles, and I have a little bit of knowledge about, like I said, okay, pardon me, I say alleles.
Oh, you good, bro.
All right. I have a high school education, so pardon me.
Nah, man, you good. At least you got a high school education. Most motherfuckers ain't got.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, you'll be top elbow around this bit, bro.
Right, top elbow, high school degree. Oh yeah, you the shit.
That's why I like y'all, bro. Y'all hilarious, bro. But when it comes to DNA, right now, based off of what Truth Searcher said on that, so which you say you don't want. Right? I know. Well, I'm not gonna call my boy pseudo, but
no, you don't have to call him that. I'm telling you that he's pseudo.
That's your
opinion. You don't even believe what he's saying.
Respect. I'm bringing his name just for the one That's link cool. That.
No problem. You're using him. You're committing a fallacy. You're appealing to the authority of someone who's not an authority on genetics.
Right.
But you're using him as an example. Because of something that he said,
based off the research, not his opinion, his research, something that he shared with me, and I could pull it. It's in my archives. I gotta go grab it on my cell phone and email it to myself.
But I hope it ain't what YK the Truth already corrected. Have you seen that video?
Yeah, I did. Okay. So I'm learning, bro. I'm letting you know I'm learning. I don't have all the answers to DNA. That's why I'm going to do my DNA with as many companies as I can, because if the DNA and we trust the haplogroup, that's why I'm studying right now. Like I'm getting an understanding of haplogroups and how they're symbiotic with us. If it's consistent, or if DNA is what I'm being told it is, then I should have a consistency. I don't mind if it states that I'm from Africa. I told not a coincidence last night when I did my documentation genealogy on my mom's side when I very first started. I was fully prepared mentally to be African. It was going to be what it was going to be. So with the DNA side, that's why I want to take as many tests as I can. So when I go back to Sinetta, I'm going to have all my genealogy records as far back as I can track both sides. And I'm also going to have the DNA to back up to be able to see what's what. Because my ultimate goal is to say that I believe that we're a global people, and I believe that we develop simultaneously across this world plane. And that's why, I don't do it out of America or Africa, because I think there's just too many similarities culturally to really say who's who first. That's not really my thing. But I do, resonate with America. I'm not going to lie.
All right, so you can't falsify DNA because you would be in trouble genetically with yourself. So in order for you to understand DNA, you would need to really study with or learn from experts in the fields of population genetics.
I'm gonna write that down.
Basic command. Yeah, once you get the basic command of the intent and purpose of understanding DNA, then you can move further. So let me just say it like this. So do you know the uses of DNA? Like
No, sir.
what you use DNA for? Okay. So have you ever been in a situation where you've read an article or something scrolled across your timeline saying that someone who they accused of murder 20 years ago was released?
Yes. Like they went back and got like more trace DNA or
right. That's DNA. DNA did that. The same thing with finding the killer, the San Francisco or whatever, the Bay Area killer. DNA led them to finding the guy who was posing as someone else in the area. And he had escaped like a trail of murders. DNA, right? So you have to understand the different levels of what type of test that they do, what they're testing for, and what they're looking at. Now, the coincidence is real good at telling you straight up and down. They're only looking at 1% of your DNA because biologically we are 99.9%, 99.99% the same as every other Homo sapiens sapien on this planet. But there's a 0.01% difference or 0.1% difference in our DNA that has to be tested, that comes up with the determinations of who we are biologically.
Question.
We have a significant. Yeah, go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. Finish your wisdom. Pardon me. We have a significant.
No. You gotta go ahead. No, it's cool. I can come back. Go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Ain't gonna skip me.
All right, no problem. Cause yeah, bro, I'm here to build with you, bro. Like I'm not like no contention. Like I'm here to learn. So for me, bro, Y chromosome and mitochondria. All right, that's where I'm having the issue at right now. I'm having the issue with same thing. Like I got the video of is his name Rick Kittles and that white scientist. Like when they did this, I got that on my channel, and I have an issue because even when the white guy explains it, when you come down with the Y from the father's side, you come down with the mitochondria from the mother's side. There's a lot of your ancestry within the middle, and then it's just not just that. That's just going straight up the mother and father line. Like I tell the Abos, y'all don't consider all your cousin lines, aunts and uncles. Like, it's a lot, man, to family tree, like family history. So with the Y chromosome and mitochondrial chromosome, like how you said, man, only being able to test 0.1%, man, that's a lot to be desired. And that's why I have such a hard time understanding why, people are so solid and, speak matter of factly with ancestral DNA. Now, paternal DNA, all the way with it. But, like paternity test, stuff like that.
Because it's using the same evidence to determine paternal. It's the same.
I was gonna say that. The same exact methodology.
Yeah. So that's why people can speak so matter of factly. What we can't do because of our history and because of our experience in America is hone in on specifically and say, like our who we descend from and our brothers and sisters on the continent, we can't say specifically that we're Nigerian, because we ain't just gonna be Nigerian. We're gonna be Nigerian, Igbo. We gonna be a whole bunch of stuff
From Ghana, from Benin.
Yeah, we're gonna be all over the place. We're gonna be Wolof. We're gonna be something. So we just can't hone in on one specific thing because of our experience. And in our experience, there was an amalgamation of multiple people from West African continents that were on these plantations that commingled. And once that commingling starts, that admixture and that mixing, right, from different places of West Africa, that's our story. And to add to that, our Eurocentric side of that story, because you best believe they was tearing down, they were busting down them black women as often as they could, especially the ones that they liked. So that was easy for them, even though they was married. That was easy for them, but that's a part of our experience. That's why the African American has a certain percentage of European ancestry. That's why they say like 20 something, between 20, 25%, somewhere around in that area, African American, European ancestry will be that. And then 75% or higher, or whatever the case may be, would be your African descent. So you have to look at the totality of that in order to move forward.
Let me show you something from this doctor. His name is Nueves out of San Lorenzo.
I won't play the video on here. But
okay, look, can you do the audio? Can you play the audio like without playing the visual? So that way, I mean, it's not gonna get flagged. It's a non-flaggable video. Like you don't have to worry about getting flagged. But can you, like, if you don't want to play the visual, that can you do it like that to where like they can at least hear the sound?
Yeah, go ahead.
Whenever you're ready.
Play it.
All right. Oh, look, matter of fact, look, give me 1 second. I dropped my water. Let me turn my Bluetooth on because it's gonna amp the sound.
Power on.
Hold on.
Ready for connection.
Go to the name. Aboriginal.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Hold on, give me 1 second, bro. My bad. I had to turn my damn camera on. Say again.
The name of the video. Just drop.
I got you.
Drop the link in this private chat, real quick.
I got you. No problem.
Oh yeah, this the Australian guy.
Yeah. That's the only thing. Like me and Billy got in his feelings today. Like the name is Aboriginal documentary, Australian First Americans or Black Aborigines. So I don't. I'm gonna put this in the back chat for you. The guy that I got this from, I don't rock with this dude at all. All right, I'm not even gonna say his name, but the thing is with the research, all right, because like I said, abos want credit for being YouTube scholars and picture scholars. All right, they don't do no work, they don't do no real research or cross reference. But that video right here is some good documentation from Nueves, I believe in the late 80s, early 90s, where he was studying the skull density, all right, in relation to original Negroid phenotypes.
Yeah, but okay, so now I gotta pause you real quick. That ain't gonna help.
I'm just giving, bro, like this isn't the end all be all. I'm just giving a point of reference, bro. Like,
no. Listen to what I'm saying. There's a reason why I'm saying it. Anytime you start talking skull type talk, that's not going to help you. The reason why, I'm not saying you specifically. That's not going to help in the argument because genetics is so polarizing, but also the measuring of skulls and all of that was used in scientific racism, which was a problem. And scientific racism is a pseudoscience.
I agree. I 100% agree, but we're still basing. And all right, so if you, I'm not gonna pull it up. I'll just say it. So I agree, right? And that's why I wanted to at least have you listen to it, like because, like my thing is this, bro. I'm not trying to prove America. I want you to know that I'm not here.
That you are.
I just want to just on the record for the record. I'm not saying you are, for the record, right? But if we're gonna say that, which you're exact and true, mainstream science is still using eugenics and Darwin and tactics from Darwinism, and not
Hold up.
just that. We have
I heard you say that yesterday. So I want to correct you real quick on the whole Darwin thing. Darwin has nothing to do with eugenics. His cousin has everything to do with eugenics.
Which one? Galton or Broca?
I forget his name right now, but he misrepresents Darwin's work to reclassify that. He had nothing to do with eugenics. So you have to go in and you have to study Darwin for Darwin. And
I got you.
And then when you look at the origins of eugenics, you study the origins of eugenics, and you'll get to his cousin. Has nothing. They're two different people.
No problem.
Right? Two different arguments, two different positions, two different ideologies. And Darwin's basis of his works is hinged on some things that he learned from freaking Africans and studying species in nature. So to help him qualify those things, that's where his work comes in at. And he argues his work with evidence. His cousin doesn't argue his work with evidence. His cousin manipulates some things that Darwin speaks of, and he does the flip a root.
Yeah,
so
let me grab my
point in the phrase Darwinism. They two different people making two different arguments.
I got you. Give me 1 second. Let me pull him up. Because I believe you got to be talking about Broca. It's gonna be Broca or Galton. Give me a second, because I'll tell you in the next 2 minutes. But still, regardless, bro, like, when I look at, that's why I don't call it Darwin. I don't deal with Darwinism. Appreciate the correction. I just deal with eugenics. And the eugenics program I'm still dealing with in the recent time. I'm born in 1989. All right, you have Rebecca L. Cann and Alan C. Wilson. A lot of people don't remember these people or understand, but they helped to push the modern out of Africa theory in the modern time. And second, my boy, all right, here we go. Pull this up. And with Rebecca L. Cann, I'll pull all this up. Like, these are just documents; they're not videos. So if you want, like, we can go through and read these. I'll just read this right quick. I believe we're talking about Broca though. 1 second. So it's either Broca or Galton. It's gonna be one of the two. It's in my my archive right here. All right, it is Francis Galton. Galton, yeah, it's Galton. So Francis Galton.
Hey, hold on, real quick before you. Hold on, before you. Let me address something real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, so a marvelous, okay. Who said that they can't detect what? You're not saying. Listen, bro.
That's my brother, Amar. Mm-hmm.
All right, so Amar, DNA testing can tell you exactly what it needs to tell you. When it provides you your haplogroups, it can do that. When it provides you your admixture, it does that. What it does not do is get specific according to tribe. And I just explained that earlier. Now, I understand, bro. You ain't paying attention to none of the information. And I get it. But you got to slow down. And you also have to read. And you also have to watch. You can't talk. Not in this chat. Now, I don't care who timed you out. You probably needed it. But you do not have evidence for anything. You're just saying things that make no sense in the chat, bro. That's why he's doing you like that, because you're just rambling and you're so quick with your fingers and you're not listening. You have to concede things that you're not familiar with. You didn't even know about archaeological evidence for the Bering Strait, but you kept on trying to go back and forth about something that you didn't know anything about. And then when I gave you a source, an origin, or I gave you Dr. Raff, you still don't even understand what she is presenting. Now, you don't understand why she's saying that there was a people living up in this particular area. You don't know none of that stuff. You have to read to understand in its entirety. Because there were claims out there that her book goes in and addresses. Another thing, when we talking DNA, we know what the fuck we talking about. We know what it can prove. But before you say anything, real rap, not coincidence. You got something, bro?
No, take your time because I'm pulling up all my links. Like, give me a couple minutes.
Nah, I'm good. I'm just in the background doing a couple things.
Okay, all right.
I'll chime in when I'm ready, though. Y'all doing a good job, though. You walking them down, Sean.
Lucky, you got something? Lucky chilling.
Give me like I said, I appreciate it because like I said, I'm not trying to bang with y'all right now.
No, nothing to bang about. All right, so listen, once you show me that you have some level of integrity,
yes,
it's
sir.
a different conversation. It's
sure.
when you don't have any integrity,
right,
that I get frustrated.
But that is my brother in the chat though, like my brother Amar, and he does have a lot of information. He might be trolling, but he does have a lot of information.
I don't think he has any information.
Like you're gonna find out real soon when he pull up, because that's one of the coldest.
I'm not gonna find out anything. He already proved himself.
Well, if y'all ever come to my channel, bro, like one day, or whenever I go on Sunday in a couple weeks, my brother will be there. And like I said, bro, like my brother's got one of the most unbeatable talking points I'll come across in my time on this internet. Keep it a buck with you.
He ain't got nothing.
I'm not even talking about this DNA shit. I'm just talking about like overall, like with this building on cultures and stuff like that. But I'm vouching for that, man, and you know how that works in the streets.
Hey, listen, hey, that's you out, bro. This your first time on the channel.
Yes, sir.
The first time I heard you on Not a Coincidence. I ain't passed judgment on you. That's just you vouching for him doesn't validate him.
No, I got you.
You know what I mean?
I got you, brother. I got you, brother.
Do he got published work?
Yes. I think
books,
Amar's Amar, if you got it, if he doesn't have it, I know he was working on a scientific on some like, what do y'all call that? Like in the scientific world where you have peer review. If he doesn't have it, it'll be out by the summer.
That's fine. When you find out, bro, you shoot me the information and I'll read it.
Got you, brother. Like I said, man, I really feel the genuineness back from you too, bro. And it's really it's respected and appreciated, bro.
No problem.
I'm just sending some things to my email right now. And look, Lucky, my brother, bro. Like I rock with Lucky the long way, bro.
Hey, Lucky ain't co-signing your shit, bro.
No, I'm not saying he co-sign. I'm just saying as a man.
I'm playing, bro. I'm playing.
Me and Rep that had a conversation. I done hit the link in, and we done been disagreeable on certain topics. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, he agreeable, and he don't be on all the unnecessary shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, that's what I say. He got a level of integrity that most people don't have. So it just be a matter of what he understands and what he doesn't understand. And then if he allows the evidence to sway him one way or the other, then the evidence should ultimately trump it, because
I'm gonna tell you how I am, bro. The way I am, if I'm on a point and there's empirical data, right, and cross, bro, I'm gonna give up to the point. Until I can overcome it, I'm gonna have to concede to it. And that's the part of these arguments and debates that people are disingenuous. When you can't concede to a man's point that is proved his point, all right, that's when you disrespect my intelligence now, and that's when you disrespect me as a man. And I can't have that.
I'm with you on that. But like I said, man, I don't know how long you've been around. How long you been in the community?
2018-ish, like going into 20. Because I took a year off, bro. Because I've been on YouTube for years. Like I've been in Black YouTube way longer, but this little Abo thing, this little light of mine, I broke my ankle. And I just had a lot of time, man. And I just came up on Top Rats when he was just doing boxing content.
Head straight into the bad shit.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry, my bad. But
I'm saying you went straight. You broke your ankle and started listening to some bullshit.
Facts, bullshit.
You was on that medication.
Facts. I was on a perk. I could hear the perk is calling. Facts. I was on them perk 30s. Facts. I was really on perk 30s for real. I broke my ankle, bro.
That makes a lot of sense, real rap. That makes a lot of sense. Well,
I'm
you
being
stuck in the
honest.
house.
I was on them
Fell it,
perkies.
you fall right in that rabbit hole.
I was on them perkies, man. Hey,
I
look, bro.
told you what happened, yo. People be doing drugs and listening to them niggas and that shit. They be like, be high, the motherfucker be like,
Nah, don't do that, Sean, because I'll smoke a J and be like, what the fuck? That shit don't make no goddamn sense. Don't do that to them.
hey, but not it. I'm saying everybody take information. Listen, my brother get high, he be the smartest motherfucker I ever known in my life. But then it'll be another motherfucker I know get high, be dumber than a motherfucker. So it be people sometimes. I'm not saying everybody like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, oh, some people get high and they be thinking too much. They be like, oh shit, what if that is true? I ain't never thought of it like that. I don't know. It kind of sounds. Listen, bro. Let me real rap. I'm finna tell you something. When the shit starts sounding like a motherfucker preaching to you on Sunday,
Yup.
it's some bullshit.
Hold your pockets. Yup. Grab your pockets. As my dad told me. Grab your pockets, man. Walk away, bro. No, that and when it sounds too good to be true, like fantastical, like some Superman, Marvel comic shit. Like, that's what they do, bro. So how they got me, cause I'm huge on like stars. I love studying the stars and miles and shit.
You said that's how they
got me. That's how they got me. They walked me into the pseudo abo I don't know, locker, man. And I was in, you know what I'm saying, like a hyperbolic chamber of BS. They were telling me that women created themselves. They were here for millions of years without men. You know what I'm saying? Like, I heard the wildest things I ever heard.
Yeah. That's that level one. That's that level one pseudo. The
Facts.
black woman is God.
Facts.
Right, and they don't. That's the thing, though, Sean. These people, they just got to the internet and they think the shit they spewing is brand new. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about like what rap. I'm talking about like it's going back into even what Sister Soul was doing. Like, they'll be up there spitting this shit like they're a whole guru, and it's really some information from fucking 1995 or something like that, from some damn old video,
or some like in respect, but some regurgitated Dr. York. That's it. Like, they still spitting Dr. York stuff. So
it's just amazing though, man. It's really amazing to see it, like, and it's crazy though, like, cause you said you fought with Top Cats, and then what happened with how you got caught up with Sister Bethy, and because you never fucked with Dane, did you, or did you fuck with Dane?
Through Top Rats, me and Dean did a couple builds on Bethy. So it started with, I broke my ankle, right? So I was in a boxing community because I stopped watching basketball. I got sick, like defense, all that, couldn't play defense. So I got tired of watching basketball, so I got back into boxing, hard body. And my boy, I was just spitting like shit about black people. And my boy was like, hey, bro, I think you should go check out Top Rats. He's from Louisiana. And I'm like, when I went to his channel, I'm like, this nigga ain't from Louisiana. It's a Texas nigga. And I'm from Louisiana. And Top Rats introduced me to Bethy. Bethy is the one that did my genealogy. She started, and she always bragged, real rap, I did your genealogy wrong. And I had to correct that shit. Right. And I tell everybody in public, she did it in like a 10, 15 minutes. So went from Top Rats to Bethy to where I would be on Bethy channel, and I turned into
Hold on, my fault, real rap. Yo, Sean, the Bethy is the one who did Smoke Signals genealogy. Yeah, exactly.
How did she do my genealogy? Number one, she got my great grandma
genealogy too
on the spot, and it was wrong.
Yo, you paid her?
Hell no, I gave her $15 2 years later.
Yo,
she did it for free.
Yo,
that was her thing. I'm doing everybody genealogy for free. I just gave her 50.
Paid.
Say again.
So you all right? So she does it for free because she's trying to create a narrative, right?
And she's learning at the same time.
She was learning at that time.
Because what he just said was, now I'm catching the time frame, because he just said that 2 year mark, and that makes sense. He's saying Top Cat just stopped from the boxing. I remember that whole thing because he broke off from A1. He was from the A1 tree, and like back then, yeah, she knows what she was doing back then. She was just getting started.
So she was using 4 things. She needed where your people were born, like city that they were born in, the city that they died in, date of birth, full name. That was the 4 criteria. And for the most part, that's all you need for ancestry. You can do this yourself. Like I corrected it myself. I found my real people myself. So, and I helped a couple people like not do their genealogy. I never brag on that, but help line some things up for them. All right, that's when I was doing the heavy during the the thing the thingy thing. So from there, once I opened up with Bethy, that's when I found Chief Holiday, aka Lil Billy. I don't call that nigga Chief. That nigga
Bro,
is
you
Lil Billy.
ran into pseudo extraordinaires, bro. Like
I'm lining it up. This is 2019 going into 2020 because I was already on like house. I was already like what they call quarantining or whatever, like regular, like naturally because I was recovering from my ankle. So I just started doing my rehab because I broke my ankle bad, bro. And I just was doing my rehab. So yes, I was going from pseudo to where I was getting to the source. And I realized, yeah, like
So, real
once I
rap, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
Before you broke your ankle, was you an African American?
No.
What was you before that?
I was just a regular nigga, like keep it a buck. Somebody asked me. I was studying with the Hebrew Israelites back in 2013. Like I got
there
out the
you
Marine
go,
Corps.
bro.
Hold on. I've been all over. Hold
That's
on.
why you went African American because you was trying to be a Jew.
No, I wasn't trying to be nothing. I was trying. No. I said I study with them. Keep in mind, I never joined that, and it's a funny story. All right, because once I realized that them niggas was Wakanda 2.0, I said I can't have this in my life, man. I'm good. I was truck driving heavy back then. I was getting a bag. I was in my early 20s, man. I'm 33 today, and I'll walk all that down just real quick. So I joined the military, and I signed my paperwork in 08. I left in January 09. Got out in like April of 2012. So I did my little street thing. You know, I was in and out the streets and shit. Got out of that and, got into the oil field. And from the oil field, I always had knowledge, but it wasn't knowledge that y'all have. It was like music knowledge, like breaking down like music videos, like esoteric. Like I was into that at a young age. So going from that, I was just a regular person, like staying out the way. Like if you ask me, I was from Africa. I aligned to like that Egyptian shit. I felt like that was our shit. I felt like y'all could have been a part of that. But I never on God, I just never really resonated with Africa. I'm gonna be honest. I thought I was a black European before anything. Hard body. I keep it honest. Cause that's what I was studying. I was always fascinated with like medieval history. That was my thing. I was always been into that. So studying with the Hebrew Israelites, I realized there was that camp shit was garbage because I was on the road. I just studied with them over the phone. And when I finally came home in the physical, I saw one of them niggas was eating a hamburger on Sabbath, and he was at a what's that shit like where you go over there, you sell them your stuff, and they'll take your stuff and pawn shop. He was at a pawn shop on Sabbath, right? And I'm like, bro, you're the biggest hypocrite in life, dog. Like y'all telling me all this shit biblically how to live through the Bible, and y'all not doing that. Lastly, they set up a conference. They wanted me to pull up. They had rented out a La Quinta. I'm gonna get back to this African shit. This shit funny. So they rented out a La Quinta, right? Now this is IUIC, right? And I'm going over there. They all doing the Wakanda handshake, bro. They all doing like the X across the chest. You know what I'm saying? They all got black boots and shit. And they got men on one side, women on the other side. I'm like, what is it that we doing? I'm thinking we gonna like commune, you know what I'm saying? Like build on some brotherhood shit. They invited me there to watch Nathaniel on a damn green or flat screen or projector screen. I'm like, man, I could watch Nathaniel at my damn house, man. Why do I have to come here and do all this Wakanda ritual shit just to, you know what I'm saying, like prove my case? So I was done with it. So then I became like on once again, I'm always a renegade. Then I was a renegade Hebrew Israelite. So I started studying with a nigga named Chronicles of Judah, right? I didn't study with him. I studied his channel.
I ain't trying to rush you, bro. But we got.
I got you. It's long-winded. I got you. So back to the Africa shit. I'm just giving you my background. So that's where I was with it. All right. I was studying that Bible hard, and I was just trying to figure some things out in my 20s. Now, with all this Abo shit, right? So now, forward back 2019, and I appreciate you, dog. Like I said, I'm not trying to take over your shot. I just want to give you perspective. So back to this Abo stuff. Top Rats, Bethy led me to Holiday. Holiday led me to the rest of the Abo. So that's when I was able to find Aboriginal Powderhead. All right. And then I was able to find Aboriginal D-Sucker, you know what I'm saying? AKA A1. So the thing is, these dudes were all aligned. These dudes are dirty Moors, and they like to mix the dope. So if they can't come out something from research, they do what I call reach search. If they can't cross-reference it, they just make some bullshit up. And that's why I'm the Abo savior and the Abo destroyer. Because I say these niggas out their dogma, and I destroy their ass and let them know that everything that they ever believed in is bullshit. No, I could never be. See, look, this is the thing. I keep too much of an open mind.
Hold on. So there's valid points from the people in the chat. Because everybody you done ran into was people that are not a coincidence. Do you understand what I'm saying? They weren't lucky, right? You're running to the same caliber people over and over, and when you do that, you don't allow yourself an opportunity to learn proper research methodology, source critiquing, right? How to analyze data scholastically to help you come to an understanding of what it is that you're looking at. Is this website credible? What is this source saying? And then why is it leading me to another source? Like when we dealing with history and we dealing with science, because mainly those are the two prominent things that we're dealing with, history and sciences. And then underneath history and science, right, we're dealing with the different levels of science, anthropology, paleontology, linguistics, you know what I'm saying? We're dealing with a plethora of things to support what we're dealing with historically. So if let me ask you this, and you tell me real quick, okay, what is your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal is to stop the name banging. All right, stop the name NAME.
No. When you say name banging, I'm asking who, like, specific.
Between black people, bro. Like
okay,
regardless of it's the intellectual name banging. Let me say it like that.
Okay.
To be specific. The intellectual name banging needs to stop. If we all have a common so-called enemy and we've all gone through colonization, all right, I would love in a lifetime to be able to see people come.
Slavery. Our ancestors went through slavery.
That's what I call it, slavery colonization.
Yeah, okay.
I put it all in one window because everybody's slavery experience wasn't the same. I'm from Louisiana where we had a lot of, that's why I hate when A1 try to teach about A1 and AP teach about my state because they can't teach it the way I know it. But everybody's slave experience isn't the same. That's why I call it colonization. Because yes, there was chattel slavery for some people. There was indentured for some people. Some people was a damn slave. Some people was a damn slave owner. Some people freed themselves out of that predicament. It's a lot to that, bro. It's a huge thing. People like to put a negative narrative on it. But
what's the other thing that you want to accomplish outside of the intellectual naming thing?
I would like to see black people come together, intellectually like-minded people, and get our shit back. I know it ain't gonna happen, but in a perfect world, that's why. So for me, that's why I'm at. I know it's never gonna happen in my lifetime, so that I know.
Nah. I come together. Do you know why I say that it'll never happen?
It's too many egos, bro. Like I already know.
It has nothing to do with egos, bro.
I disagree, but go ahead.
It has nothing to do with egos. There has never been a time.
I agree with you going to.
In human history, where people came together
I agree with that. I've said
Oh,
that.
when I say people, I'm referring to us. Now, listen to me.
Mhm.
There was a time in history where white people came together to dominate the world. And that's where you get the birth of white supremacy. They made the world their enemy. But after they conquered the world, they went back to fighting each other. They fought each other before they had any power. They fought each other after they had power. And even during they had power. But they had one common goal. That one common goal led to the doctrine of discovery. That common goal led to a mass Holocaust of black people, descendants of Africa.
A holy crusade.
Right. So they came together on that. Although they fought each other in areas because there was a monopoly between the Portuguese and the Spanish. But ultimately, they came together when they needed to slice up Africa. They came together to do that. And we didn't come together to defend that. Whether we were in the Americas or whether we were on a continent.
Now,
So,
let me add to that. For me, from my research, every black culture you want to say across the world, Jay-Z said this in the Ghost of Soldier Slim. No civilization, like basically civilizations fall from within. Like no civilization doesn't fall from within. Like they can't escape that. That's one thing I've seen across us is all the damn infighting that we did and not paying attention. Hold on, let me turn it.
Yeah, but we gotta make sure that you're no longer an abo. But look, yo, I gotta end this bill, bro. I got some
Oh man, bro, I got so many.
Nah, I gotta end,
I
bro.
should have came early. That's my fault.
Yeah. I got some business to tend to. So,
hey, bro,
what you missed earlier, I suggest you to rewatch it. I also suggest your buddy to rewatch a lot of that information because
1 second though, bro. I'm not an abo though, bro.
I'm not saying that you're an abo. I'm not saying any of that.
But I do claim to be an American Indian though. Real talk. Based off my records. I know. Yeah. I know there's nothing you can do with that right now, but like I said, I don't come with contention when I do these bills to land my plane, and I will be back. I'm subscribed. Next time you go back, I'll be here early, and all these links that I got pulled up, I want to run through them, bro.
Yeah, that's fine. So as far as your boy, a marvelous, you got to go do your homework before you talk to me, homie. I ain't even being rude to you or nothing like that. There's no sense in us having a conversation. You saying things in the chat you haven't even critiqued. You didn't even know that archaeological evidence existed for the Straits. You didn't. Yeah, so you have to go and analyze. You have to go and analyze the mammals that were found during that glacial period, right? The type of weaponry that was found during that glacial period, right? The archaeological evidence of the boats, right? You have to look at all of that, and you have to look at how they traveled in groups. And there's a couple of books that are available in those sources as well. So you're gonna need about a couple of weeks to review that evidence, because if you try to do it in one day, you ain't gonna get there. You just stuck on a belief, and that means that you're contentious for no reason because you failed to understand that I had evidence that you didn't want to evaluate properly and come to an honest conclusion. So before we go, Lucky, you got anything, bro?
Oh nah, man. I'm just chilling, man. Y'all be easy, man. Make sure y'all stay swift, man. Dodge the pseudos, man. You know me, man. I don't fuck with none of that.
Got you. Not a coincidence. When you going live again, bro?
I might go live in like an hour, for a couple hours.
All right, so look, a marvelous, not a coincidence is about to hit the live button. Make sure you subscribe to Not a Coincidence's channel, because these is prime hours right here. Not a Coincidence is big on being up to 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So listen, you hit the link. Not a Coincidence gonna be live. You know what I'm saying? I might come around the bend and we can handle it like men, but Not a Coincidence can handle it on his own merit. Him and Lucky, they don't need me at all. I'm just there for the fun.
Hey Mosey, just real quick, bro. Like,
no. Nope. Yo, real quick is 30 minutes, bro. We sat here quiet and let you rock, bro. I was like,
nah, you did.
Minutes, 30 minutes.
Real rap know how to
Damn,
talk.
I'm that long-winded, bro.
Bro, listen. The next time, bro. I'll catch you later. So I appreciate everybody tapping in, man. Like the stream, share the stream. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody building. If you missed the build earlier, catch it. You ain't gotta watch the whole thing, but it's really important the first hour and a half. So y'all, peace out to everybody, man. Go and listen. If you're not subscribed to Not a Coincidence channel, now's the time to go subscribe. Get ready, because when he hit the button, he hitting the button, and there's gonna be some good shit. That's all I got for y'all, man. Peace out.
Peace, peace, peace.
So
It's 3 times a day.
yeah, 3 times.